Two religion chaos panels back to back on the same topic. They said it can't be done. They said Confluence, that's illegal. Well, guess what? That's never stopped me before, and it's not going to start stopping me now, okay? So we're going back to the morals because we only got through I think 4 prompts, and there's I have 7 other omni-coded prompts. Good to see you, Marilyn. As always, good to see you, Marilyn. We're talking about your favorite thing, sin, which is a psyop, low-key. Good to see you, Christian. Good to see you, Topanga, Weevil, trying to hit everyone with their emails. This one's for you, Marilyn. This one's for you, Topanga. For some reason, I need to make one for young Christian. That'll be easy based on his name. Good to see you, Anson. Good to see you. Wait, disavow this message. I probably will be shrill because the last panel was 10 hours long or something. It ended with me, young Christian, Voltaire, and Futoy talking about the nature of God for 4 hours, with Voltaire screaming into his mic because his mic was broken, so his voice is probably extra shrill. We have 2 people in the back chat. 2 people. I'm just gonna assume that this, I'm assuming that one of these is the real one, and I'm assuming, well, I know that this one is the real one because he has a camera. Good to see both of you.
What's up?
How's it going? How's it going?
You subbed the right one. True.
Good. How'd y'all sleep last night after all that talk about sin?
Like a baby.
I sinned like crazy.
In your dream or before the dream? My panel didn't inspire you to sin. That's not the point. It's not.
I mean, you talk about something enough, it becomes an object, becomes an idol, should we say?
Yeah, it's kind of dwelling if you think about it.
It's very much dwelling, yeah. So.
We have Anson. Anson, good to see you. You missed the entirety of yesterday's panel. Shame on you. Shame.
Oh, is that a pug?
It looks like a pug. And we have Marilyn as well. Oh, we're just getting right into it.
Oh, y'all aren't
How's it
getting
going,
me
Marilyn?
this time. Y'all aren't getting me this time.
Did we get you last time?
I think we broke her last night.
I didn't show up. I showed up late last time. I need to focus.
Okay, well, good. How are you doing, Anson?
Man, you know what? I'm doing so damn good right now. My life has gotten a whole hell of a lot better ever since I stopped being an unexceptional white.
The dude really helped you on that one.
I've been going to the gym. I quit using nicotine. I switched to a single ingredient food diet. I've been getting 8 hours
so proud of you
every night.
Are you basically an exceptional white now? Is that what
I'm
you are?
an exceptional white now. That's right. And I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go and learn something new. Something that's challenging, something that shows that I deserve to civilize the globe.
You deserve the exceptional.
Yeah.
I feel like usually I would take that as a deadpan, but I think Anson's being real. Except the single ingredient diet throws me off. Like, are you on like a Jordan Peterson like beef only diet, or what does that mean?
Oh yeah, no, I've spent years actually prior to my divorce. I spent years on a diet where I only ate foods that contained one ingredient.
Like
water,
like just plain rice or something. Like, is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, I don't really eat rice, but yeah, that's the idea. A potato, or collards, or watermelon, or chicken.
Oh, but you mean you could wombo combo them together? You could have like chicken and steak, or not like potatoes and steak.
Yeah, most Americans when they eat shit, it's got like 20 fucking ingredients in it, and it ain't fucking food anymore.
I see. You mean like whole foods? No, normal people call those whole foods. Okay, Anson, they don't call them single ingredients.
Single ingredient food.
I mean,
you look at the label; it's got one ingredient on it. I can eat it.
It says potato, gotcha. Not like potato sorbet with.
I don't think on a bag of potatoes that actually has an ingredient list where it just says potatoes, but maybe it's possible. That'd be weird to see. Marilyn dropped off rage quit. Marilyn rage quit, but she's back.
I was having headphone issues the whole time, but I'm good now. I'm good now.
How did you sleep, Marilyn?
I slept good. I woke up and you were still live. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
I saw that. Yeah, you popped in at like 4 a.m. my time. And then you said, you're still on. I'm going back to bed.
I thought about it, but I didn't think that long about it. I hope it was good.
Marilyn, I just want to let you know, I'm going to the gym 4 days a week until you come see me and I can bench press you, okay?
Oh my goodness.
Man, you're gonna be huge, Anson. You're gonna be huge. Because she ain't never
what
coming to see you.
Okay.
Oh my God. What are you trying to say, Confluence?
He said you never show up. That's what he ended up saying, but
wow.
I was in the same row. I was in the same place as you there.
Listen. Oh. I'm popping out this summer for sure. I'm popping out this summer.
Popping out what? A couple more kids or what's good?
I'm popping out. I'm coming. I'm gonna go to events and I'm gonna go travel and stuff this year. For sure.
Go to DebateCon?
Got your passport to go to Canada?
Heck yeah. I know.
I'm gonna take the heck yeah to be in response to the Canada question. So
yeah, I'm gonna definitely hit up a DebateCon this year, but not the one coming up here at the end of the month.
Is there another debate? How many DebateCons are there?
I don't know. There's already a DebateCon 7. There's already a DebateCon 7.
I thought it's like an annual thing. Okay, I guess Wow, yeah, okay, that's yeah, he's really going at it. So are you guys ready for, I guess, the first question?
Yeah.
Guess ready as I'll ever be.
Wait, this isn't the question I wanted up.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, if I was any more ready, it'd be a sin.
Question. Oh yeah, okay. This is the question I wanted to start with. These questions we have to kind of start off light, a little foreplay, if you will, and you must before we dive into the heavy hitters. Okay. So, I almost cucked myself. Before that, we all have to go around the panel and say, what our little, religious beliefs are or lack thereof. I'm Confluence. You don't have to say your name, but I'm saying my name. I'm Confluence. I am an esoteric, non-denominational Christian. What about you, Alexander?
I'm an esoteric. I don't know.
Oh, I got to look this up again. Holy shit.
You had it memorized last time, Anson.
No,
I'm a neo-Aristotelian virtue ethicist.
Oh, we're doing that. Oh, okay. My apologies here. I'll go pull one up.
Wow.
No, you don't have
consequentialist
to.
with theological ground rails.
Word.
Okay. Yeah, word salad. Words are psyops.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yes.
So stupid.
Big soda.
Oh, mine's quite simple. I'm a level 4 Scientologist. I just graduated later last night. It's been a wild journey. I believe in aliens and sin and extra dimensional
And
demons.
Xenu, is that his name? The Scientologist guy?
No,
I think
I
it's
thought it was
Xenu.
Hubbard. Or maybe,
No,
I
Little
don't know.
Hubbard's the guy that wrote it. I'm saying
alien.
Xenu is the guy in the mythology.
Well, look,
Like XENU, I think.
it's a pay to know program, so I don't pay enough to know everything.
Well, actually, and even if you did know about Xenu, you have to deny him. That it actually is in the Scientology, the OT6 or whatever it is. So you passed the test, Big Soda. I was sent by Scientology to audit you, and you actually did pass that. So that's good.
Not, I guess to be more, serious, I would describe myself probably. I'm a Protestant who's non-denominational, who probably has a foundation in Orthodox teaching.
No! Sorry.
I found that's the Big Soda. I feel like there's been some developments, a journey toward orthodoxy, perhaps.
Well, I don't know, because there's some major things that throw me off of saying that I'm Orthodox.
Me too. The main thing stopping me from becoming Orthodox is other Orthodox people, ironically. But if it wasn't for them, I think I would already be Orthodox. But
I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah, I'm
Go ahead.
a Peristicav, also known as a pre-evolutionary, romantic, anti-enlightenment, stoic, transcendental, culturally Christian, atheist, virtue ethicist.
Okay, this acronym should help. Okay, a pre-enlightenment rationalist.
No. Pre-evolutionary.
Romantic, anti-enlightenment, stoic, transcendental,
culturally Christian,
virtue atheist,
virtue ethicist.
Is the atheist?
Oh yeah, atheist, virtue ethicist. Yeah, the atheist is the least important part.
Okay, what's the P? I'm trying to get this. Pre-evolutionary, romantic, anti-enlightenment, stoic, transcendentalist, cultural Christian, atheist, virtue ethicist.
Yep.
Okay, got it. I'm definitely going to remember that. Okay, Marilyn.
I'm God.
Say
I'm
the
God,
thing. She
and
said
I don't
the thing.
I don't hold an indoctrination. Follow doctrine, you're indoctrinated.
That is definitionally true, as I've pointed out before. That is true.
I've created my own indoctrination.
Yeah,
I indoctrinate myself.
I just adopt all of them.
I'm an autodidact, Marilyn. Okay, learn about it.
Well, hold on, Anson. If you adopt all of them, you got to adopt a little Scientology.
Lego.
Just a little bit.
I've read
like
some,
Intro to Dianetics. I've read that, Anson.
Father L. Ron's work. He does good sci-fi.
Let go of all of them. Let go of all of them. Truth has no agenda.
Marilyn, the only thing I let go of is your ideology.
Oh, shots fired.
Ideology.
Shots fired.
I don't have an ideology.
I tell you what, Marilyn, I'll trade you. I'll let go of them and grab onto you. How's that sound?
Oh, let me hit you. Let me hit you. Disavow that. We have young Christian just in time to give his religious point of view. Christian, are you God or what's good?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
Would you be
black mentality, dweller, psyop.
Yes. Slay.
I don't even know if you're on our side anymore, Compliment.
I don't think Colin knows which side he's on.
Hold on, does Colin know there is a side to be on?
Right.
He
is there?
cooking. He's cooking. What are y'all talking about?
Japan Weevil, I see no God in the panel. You should see, that's a heresy, actually. You should see God in everybody, okay? You should see God in everybody.
Change your name to God.
Yep. Yeah.
Because
everyone is God. I'm not just God. Everyone is
God.
You know when the Hindus they say that namaste, right? That means like I recognize the spark of divinity in you. That's a base thing. We should all greet ourselves, each other in that way. I'm just saying, okay?
It's true.
Think about it. Think about it. Okay, young Christian, you are. Well, how do you identify as a young Christian? Possibly.
Yeah. Yes.
Anything else you want to add to that? Any qualifiers, denominations, philosophies?
Nah, I'm Christian. I just read.
Keeping it simple. Keeping it OG. I respect that. I respect that, young Christian.
Yeah.
Where some may live, he just reads.
Indoctrination.
Where some may be awake, he just reads.
I just read.
Okay, so this is going to be our kind of opener, our little softball question, but actually kind of not necessarily a softball.
Not the
you
same
know,
questions as
bit of
yesterday.
trickery. Oh no, there's like we only got through like 4 or
Okay.
5 questions. I had like 11 questions.
I think it was
so
like the second before last that really sent you.
yeah. Well, yeah. But I will say there is one question that's going to be the same, but it's only because there's like a follow up, a switcheroo, and I hope you're all going to forget about it, and I'm going to hit you with that plot twist. So
I'm writing
don't
it down,
remember what I'm
actually,
saying
as we
now.
speak.
Don't write it
It's
down.
already written down.
Well, remember, I'm
2 hours in, you're going to forget about it.
Read it.
I'm Khan from the future. I remember it.
Yeah, and
That's possible.
I'm
Yeah,
too
that's
dumb to
conflict
know
in the
things.
future. Terrible.
Give
If
enough
you
time.
use easier words, I'm dumb.
First question.
Confluence? Oh.
Good to see you, App. I don't know how to label my worldview. Oh, that's fair. You know, sometimes labels are actually unironically a psyop, like to be honest with you. So it's not always a bad thing.
I reject that.
So, first question: is it possible to go through your whole life without sinning? So, if you're an atheist, you can kind of just free ball it with how you take sin. Sin is some adverse action, adverse consequence. Do you think it's at least possible that from like this moment on, like assuming you live more than like 1 second, is it possible, or are humans just like always going to sin? Is that an actual impossibility that we were just so tied into our sin nature? You know, obviously this is a very open question, how you define sin, all that stuff. We start with Alex, we go clockwise and snakewise. So when we get more than 6 people, we'll be going like this in a little bloop, 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 bloop. But yeah, Alex first.
I would say so. I mean, depends on how short your life is. If you don't live very long after you're born, you probably live life without sin. So
I knew you were gonna say that's why I caveated that, Alex. I said
you
assuming
said more
you
than
live
a
a long
second.
time.
More than a second.
Okay, fine. By that I mean you live right now. You specifically, Alex, you live another 30 years, let's say. Is it possible that I'm not supposed to interrupt, but just to clarify.
Wait,
you
me?
let's say.
Alex, be careful because he's going to change the prompt
not.
3 times.
Yeah, that did happen.
No,
last
probably not.
night.
Probably
That's
not.
True. Is it possible though?
If I'm in a coma for those 30 years.
That'd be the only way. Okay.
So yes, I'm sorry, I changed my mind. Yes, it is possible. It absolutely is.
Okay. Con from the future, aka I'm not going to call you that, aka Big Soda.
I would say I don't think it's possible because I think even the mere thought of sin is a sin itself. So I would say even when thoughts arise in your mind that you may not have control of, as they generate in your mind, I would say that itself is a sin. So I would say no, it's not possible.
All right, Anson.
Humans are in constant danger of impairing their virtue. It is our nature. Y'all call it sin, whatever you want to call it. Unless you are like what Alexander was pointing out by saying, unless you don't have agency of your faculties, like you're an infant or you're in a coma, then you will always be in danger of your virtue being impaired through your own action. So no, there's no way that you can live any substantial amount of time as an adult human without what you call sin.
Okay, great. Marilyn?
It would be possible if we didn't live in this system. If the system wasn't set up like it is and we were forced to participate in this certain system, it could be possible, but within the system that we're forced to be in, no, it's not possible. No, pray not.
I like that answer. It's a bit confusing based on last night of you saying sin doesn't exist, but I did say in this one, define sin how you want to define sin. So I think I get what you mean. Young Christian.
No, it's not possible.
Simple, short and sweet.
Yeah.
And I will end it, and then we will all speak at the same time and start screaming. I'm just kidding.
All right.
But so my answer is, I think yes. I think this is kind of going on what Big Soda was saying. I think the sin nature is so intertwined that I think we deal with like the big obvious sins, and then we can go a level deeper and like think about like the dwelling on the sin, and then we can go a bit deeper and look at our like inclination toward that sin. And I think like we're never gonna root it out fully. I think on this earth we probably always will have, you know, the flesh, to use a you know, the Bible concept. And so I think we can stop sinning in like a very precise way where it's like, yeah, it's possible I could never tell a lie or like never, you know, commit adultery or never do all these things. But is it possible that I could ever fully expunge my sinful proclivities, right? If we go to that level of proclivity, I don't think that's possible. So that's what I would say.
No, I would agree with that.
So now, floor is opened. Everyone starts speaking at once.
Marilyn, when you were talking about it would be possible if we didn't have the system that we have now, were you referencing hierarchy or the Blue Jays?
I still am not sure what a Blue Jay is. I'm
The Jewish man.
God, just did that of his own stream.
I'm referring to
Confluence. I had to leave because I'm again still sponsored by the Daily Wire. So when that was brought up, I was contractually obligated to step out of the chat. So keep going.
You're so crazy. I swear to God.
Such a blue jay.
What the hell, Confluence? I was talking about this highly provisional, culturally and linguistically sanctioned hallucination that we all participate in. If there was an order to things and we all had whatever we want and whatever color we wanted it, and we were all considered God individually, we would fall in line and there wouldn't be sin going on. There would be no need for it, no reason for it, no fetish for it, or just urge to do it, because you would lack for nothing. You would just go and enjoy yourself and have fun, or go think about something you want to work on and innovate or whatever. You would not have time to be thinking about, how can I manipulate? How can I get this feeling that I need from somewhere that I'm not getting? You wouldn't have all of these imbalances in your body, in the chemical balance in your brain.
Okay, so wait, a question on that. The other day we were talking about the hypothetical of if it was just you, Marilyn, somebody else, and a dog, and if both of you, if one of you agreed on life and one of you thought death was possible, if the dog would die, if you remember this. So it seems like you have, because you've said this before, but if the majority of people, once they accept this thing, then it would change. So I guess my question is, for you yourself, if the majority of people is the reason that you have moral failings, assuming you do at certain points in your life where you do something, you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. If everyone stopped believing in sin, would you personally stop having those moral failings? Are your like sins or like mistakes, are those a result of everyone else believing that you could make a mistake? Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I'm sure that has something to do with it. I mean, the frequencies and the, disruptions. But all in all, like we're all tied together, and if some of us are controlling some of us, then it's just going to create an imbalance in the system. Every system.
So, Marilyn, when you say somebody's controlling it, like what I hear you saying, I'm listening very carefully. What I hear you saying is that it's your anti-hierarchy belief system. Like basically, like if someone's ruling over someone else, then they don't know that they're God, because there's no way to rule over someone if they know that they're God, right?
Right. If everyone knew they were God, you wouldn't treat God inappropriately. You wouldn't steal from God or hurt God or want to upset God. You would respect God, and it would be God's will over your will, and that would be to everyone. So,
well, what if God isn't God? What if God is Satan? I happen to think that Satan in the Bible is a more what is that? a character that humans could relate to more than God. Like he's more human, from my perspective. So what if Satan is actually God?
In what way? In what way is Satan more?
Well, I mean, we're ruling over each other. We're all dying. We're basically, we have a lack mentality. Like basically, Satan's won.
Right. Right.
Well, Satan. It does say Satan's the god of this world, right?
Yeah.
But I don't. I don't think that.
So Satan's
Well,
Lord.
I don't know.
Got it, Confluence.
Does it say? Wait, maybe I'm misquoting. It's young Christian. Is this what I said true? Do you know the passage I'm talking about?
Yeah, Satan is the
Young Christian is gone. Maybe I said something that isn't true.
Yes, Satan is the ruler of this realm. And
Oh yeah,
I could be wrong.
I was psyoping myself. I was like, did I just say like an incredibly blasphemous thing there? Because that sounds crazy. But no, that is not crazy. I just want to show this. Oh, I just said that Satan is the god of this world, and then I was like, wait a minute, that sounds nuts.
That's biblical.
That is biblical. Okay, yeah, and here we go. It should be right here. Satan, who is the god of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. They're unable to see the glorious light of the good news. What translation? The NLT? Animal Bible Gateway? No, disavow all of that. Terrible.
What are you even using?
Terrible. God, the worst translation and the worst site. I'm sorry you all were exposed to that. I have to
use that
repent.
Mormon translation.
that that touches on my point because I feel like people idolize words.
Translation.
I feel like people idolize words.
Terrible.
NLT's not. It's just super simplistic for like new beginners doing Bible study.
It's a paraphrase. It's not don't say the NLT is super simplistic. It is a paraphrase. It's like the Message by Eugene Peterson. It's not even a translation. It's not even counted as a translation.
It's just new Christians stepping in. It can be used for very, very, very basic Bible study.
As long as you're in the ballpark, it's right.
You can disavow it.
It's not even that you can, as long as you can't even pretend it's a translation. I'm not trying to go down a rabbit hole here, but you can't even pretend it's a translation. Okay, just like you can't pretend Bible Gateway is a legitimate site the Christian should be using.
Yeah, I happen to agree with that. I think the Christians who first wrote the Bible did the same thing too.
In what way? What did they do?
Well, they just sort of made up shit.
And then
okay. Well, at least we agree that the NLT makes up shit, but I think I don't agree with the next part that you said. It's unsurprisingly.
Topanga wanted to know what I thought about the angel of death.
Oh yeah, Marilyn, what's your opinion on the angel of death?
I believe people idolize words. I believe angels are God. Lucifer is God. Everyone is God.
Angels don't even think they're God.
However, exactly. That's why they're called angels, because they somehow.
That's why one of them fell.
They're separate from God.
One of them fell because he wanted to be God.
Right, and if he thought he was God, he wouldn't have wanted to be God.
It's
absolutely correct here.
It's not
freed. He didn't fall. He got what he wanted. He's no longer having to put up with that jerk telling him what to do.
It is not that he wanted to be God. It's that he thought he could be better than God. He thought he could do God's job better. It wasn't just that he thought he could be God. He wanted to rule over us, and he wanted to be better than God. If we're all gods, you're going to want to rule over other gods. You think you're better than the other gods. So you want to rule, you want to be a master, and you want to have slaves. You don't want a lover and a friend. You want a slave master situation.
I don't know if that's true. I think he just wanted the worship that God was receiving.
Yeah.
And I think
he even told Christ to kneel to worship him.
Yeah. So to answer the question from Topanga, from my perspective, the angel of death, also known as the Grim Reaper, was best portrayed by Norm Macdonald. He's omni-goated, the best Canadian ever, the only good thing to ever come from Canada.
I would second that statement.
I think there's like one other good thing to come from Canada, though, if you think about it.
You mean
I can't think of one.
No.
What else comes from
You
Canada?
come from Canada.
Well, no, it's okay, fine. Someone
Got
who's
him.
maybe in Canada.
God,
Oh, Christian, you thought? Oh, you were talking about yourself, dang. Oh,
I was talking about myself.
I didn't know you come from
No,
Canada.
the angel of death is not the Grim Reaper. Okay, the angel of death is the archangel Samael. Okay, because I'm a Kabbalist, and that's what I
yeah.
think.
Azrael.
Irritating.
I mean, angel of
They'll
death
just
kills a lot of
say
people,
anything.
right? The angel of death is what killed all those freaking newborns in Egypt, right?
Doesn't he kill every person?
No, that's what I mean. That's I guess the Grim
Oh,
Reaper.
the angel
but
of death versus the actual death. I get you.
yeah. Because in the Bible, in the Old Testament, it mentions the angel of death, which is like kind of seen as a strange thing.
So wait, the Grim Reaper is not an angel?
Where are we on this
I
topic?
mean, the Grim Reaper is like a mythological character. I mean, it's not like the Bible talks about the Grim Reaper. You know what I mean? So like that's I think that's a
just a holdover.
personification of death.
Oh.
But the angel of death is in specific passages to say that like when the firstborns of Egypt were killed, the angel of death was sent to unalive them. And that is actually what it says in the Bible, unalive, because the Bible was using TikTok language back in the day. They were very, very progressive.
You had to
The
watch
angel
out for the Blue Jays.
Angel of unalive.
The angel of unalive, yeah. Exactly. Okay. I feel like, if no one has any further thoughts on is it possible to go your whole life without sin? Well, actually, wait, I have one actual question, I guess. And well, I guess there's no Orthodox people, although I know Big Soda said he's kind of ortho-coded now. But
Well, lay it on me.
well, I'm just thinking like the whole Orthodox concept, right, is that we don't have original sin, you have ancestral sin, right?
Mhm.
And then you inherit a fallen condition, but you are still the one that makes the choice to sin. So then I guess like why isn't it like I think it's not possible to actually fully get rid of the sin nature and everything like that, but in an Orthodox sense, then would they say? I mean, there's no one who's actually like fully Orthodox here, but do we think that they would say that it's like possible that someone could go? Like I know they think it's unlikely, but could there be a baby born that lives its whole life up to like 60 years old that has never sinned?
Well, I guess that would mean that it would have to mediate its own thought. So every thought that's entered its head would have to be kind of censored and sponged.
My understanding is it's only when you entertain the thought that like you actually commit the sin. It's not just having the intrusive thought to be.
Oh hell no, man! I can sin all day with just my thoughts. It's perverted.
I'm not talking about
it
thoughts.
ain't even right. The shit that
I
goes
think
on
it's
in
just
my
the
head.
thought
I think
itself.
Alex is talking
I
about,
don't-
like a thought could come into your head, and if you like shun it away, and the church has talked about this, and they don't consider that a sin. Like at least I know the Catholic Church doesn't. Like if you get a bad thought in your head, and you're like, no, behind me, Satan. Then it's like, yeah, you haven't sinned. If you entertain it, and you're like, let me think about that for a hot minute, then yeah, that would be the sin.
Well, I guess the thought,
The dwelling, actually, unironically, the dwelling.
then the thought would
sin.
be, could you do that for 30 years of your life? Would you have the ability for every thought that's entered your mind for you not to push it away, but to entertain it?
I doubt you could learn to do that before you started having them. So, no.
But I guess that's a fair thought process to say if you're able to do that to avoid sin. But
True,
then,
Brandon, true.
I suppose actually it's somebody raised in like a monk monastery where they're not exposed to any like to anything, and they're trained their entire life to be in full control of their faculties. Maybe those people might be able to.
but then I would question the acceptance of Jesus Christ. Like, would you need that if you never sin?
Well, like I said, if they were raised there, I didn't say if they lived
Even
there.
okay, wait, hold up. Even let's go further than a monastery. Let's say like some kid before he reaches the age of accountability, right, is like in the woods alone, and he survives. Like, what sin is he committing? He's by himself in the woods, and let's say he lives his whole life in the woods. Like, then that's a what sin would he be doing? Like harming a squirrel or something? Hopefully not, you know.
Yeah, but if you're not a social human, then you don't actually have agency, right? Like humans are social animals. So what y'all are doing is trying to remove the attributes of what makes a human from a human, and saying, well, why can this human still have this human trait of impaired virtue? And that's
right, I think being
it's like
a human is
pointless
ontological thing,
hypothetical.
though.
It's a pointless hypothetical, though, because if you
kind of
remove
pointless,
the
but it's
attributes
also
of
kind
a
of
human
not.
from a human, then of course it won't have human behavior anymore.
But it's still, I guess what I mean is it's still literally, do you think a human is not a human if it like just lives in the woods for long enough?
If it's not been socialized properly, no. There are
What would you call it? An
there are
animal? Non-human animal?
I
Yeah,
mean, to be fair, if a human's in the woods and you don't hear it, is he in the woods?
there are evolved cultural norms that humans to be human must adhere to and learn, like language, like that's an inherently human trait, right? Other animals don't have like a discernible language, even though we've tried to figure it out. There are lots of things that are socially required in order for a human to reach agency, and removing them from society basically removes their agency from them.
I guess I'm confused at would you say those people would be non-human animals then? Like, what are they? I understand that it's fundamental to being human, but then what do you call someone that is in that weird hypothetical born in the fucking woods?
Well, I'd put them in the same category as like retarded people. They've got some kind of impairment.
But retarded people are still people, though, if you think about it.
Yeah, but they don't have agency. They don't have full capacity.
But I think there's a degree of that, though, because I mean, you could argue that Down syndrome people have agency to some capacity. I mean,
they do to some extent. A Down syndrome person can sin or not sin, I think.
Well, they also have the ability
been around
to
Down syndrome people. Like, I feel like
socialize.
they can make choices. They can decide. I mean, it's obviously going to be like not the same as as non-Down syndrome people making choices, but
then what happens when you're a little bit above that threshold? Then do you have the ability to have agency? And then what happens when you're a little bit above that threshold, and then a little bit above that threshold? It's like there seems to be some type of threshold that allows people to have agency or not.
It's a slippery slope toward agency, That's
what I'm saying. Because a vegetable, we would agree, okay, there's no agency there. But then you start going up the, I guess, threshold, you would start to say, well, at some point, the agency starts to come in some degree.
Well, okay. Would you say that a dog can have agency or a dog is trained, right? That's where I draw the distinction, right? If you find a random feral human that was raised in the wilderness for 25 years and they've not been socialized properly or learn any kind of human customs, like you would have to train them, right? They wouldn't be like a fully formed human agent, just like someone with Down syndrome has to be trained or someone with autism. Like literally autism ABA therapy is like stimulus response reinforcement training therapy, right? Where you train them like a fucking dog.
My kid goes to ABA, and I would say he had agency before going there and being trained.
Oh, no kidding! Your kid, my oldest kid did that too. My oldest kid was autistic. So.
Yeah, my
going through ABA means that you lack agency,
and
they're only getting.
It's how they're
normal. I don't want to say normal, but non-autistic people, right, could do stuff like that too, right? Like there's
and there's varying degrees. Like, would you say that most Democrats have agency? I wouldn't. Like the stupid woman in Minnesota that didn't know how to drive. Like, did she have agency, or was she just like not reinforced properly by the culture? Right? Like, there's a certain point where our culture degrades, where everything just sort of falls apart. And
so, with that argument, you would say all of our kids have to go through this training and then they gain their agency after?
Yeah, like you have to understand what virtue is in order to know whether or not you're impairing it.
But do you ever, even going back to like their most basic, I guess, of examples of like the dog, have you ever had a dog where it's like the dog is about to like run maybe toward another dog, it gets out, and you're calling your dog, and the dog, you can see it's deciding, it's like looking at you, it's looking at like the cat it's chasing, and it's like it really seems like it's making a decision. It's like trying to decide, like it knows that it probably ought to go back to you, but it really wants to go that way. It really feels like, I know that's just a feeling, but it feels like in that moment that dog is like trying to make a decision,
Yeah.
Which the dog doesn't have a soul, it doesn't have like agency, but it still seems like it's making a decision between two things. One that it knows what it ought to do, one that it wants to do.
Yeah, there's some really smart dogs that are smarter than autistic kids. I'll agree with that.
Well, to counter that, I would say it could be the difference between the training countering the instinctual nature of the dog. So it may not be a agency choice, as in it's making a choice. It could be two competing natures, battling against each other, of the trained side versus the instinctual
This is something
side.
I used to say is a thought experiment. I don't know if it's a very good thought experiment, but like if dogs don't have like actual like free will, let's say, then I would always say if you have a dog, and I didn't come up with this, but if you have a dog and it's starving and there's like two bowls of food, but they're equidistant from each other, then the dog will just starve to death because it can't just make a choice. It can't make an arbitrary decision. So if the bowls are in equal line of sight, it will just die of starvation instead of choosing one, because dogs don't have free will. That's a consequence of a creature not having free will. Now, I think that argument might fail for a couple of reasons, but why do you guys think it fails? If dogs have no autonomy, if dogs don't have free will,
the instinctual drive to eat.
but then what? But how do they make? They're making a choice, right? How do they? What is the dividing factor between them choosing the bowl on the left? Do they flip a coin in their dog's
Whichever one they
head?
flip
Probably
first.
not. No, they're seeing them equally. No, their eyes are
both
equal,
bowls.
and they're seeing all the brain chemistry. There's no asymmetry where they would like see one first. They see them at the exact same time in the same way.
The brain
eat
would just
both.
choose whatever preference it has.
What are we
Well, there's
talking
no-
about?
Well, we were talking about how God is love.
Both
God is
bowls.
Like,
God
let's
is
say
love.
most of the time when it finds food, it finds it on the right, so then it would go with the right bowl. But there's also
You're not engaging my
or
thought experiment. I'm
tiebreakers.
saying hypothetically, if all of those, if everything is the same, that's what I'm saying. Every single thing you're saying is exactly the same. There is no preference. Then what happens? I think
Does it even know that it's
dog
food?
probably. Yes, it does. It sees it and it smells it, one out of each nostril in the same way. I think dogs can make choices, I guess is where this comes to. I think we have to agree with that. Do you not agree with that?
If you really want to be pedantic, if it turns its head to look at even one of them, then it wouldn't be halfway anymore, and it would just choose that one.
I'm
Right,
not
but why would it
against-
choose? Why would it turn
I'm
its
not
head?
against- I'm not
Well, hang
against
on.
dogs
What if-
making choices.
What if we
Like,
run
you
that
would approach the
experiment
bowls,
100
right?
times? What if we run that experiment 100 times and he chooses the same bowl all 100 times? Would you still say that's a choice of free will?
Yes.
Well, no, but then I would think there's some flaw in the experiment, because if it is just random, I don't know if like maybe there's probably an answer to this is maybe there's some quantum fluctuation, maybe some fucking lepton, tilts in a certain way or whatever. I don't fucking know. And then, the dog is like, oh, I'm going to eat the left ball, but then it should be
Confluence.
50-50.
Like, if we were to remove all predisposition from the dog,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the thought experiment. Any predisposition you could possibly have for him picking one, you remove that.
but
Can we
that would just
feed
mean
this
that the dog wouldn't even know food is food then.
It knows food is food. It just doesn't have a predisposition over left versus right, or seeing one over the other, or smelling one over the other. And so the whole point of the experiment is to ask: is the dog making a choice, a real autonomous choice in that moment, or is it just truly random? Is there something in the brain that just kind of flips some divine coin?
It's not random.
Is this just you asking, or does someone think that animals can't make choices?
Yeah, why would
I don't know if
That's the
anyone on
question.
this. Well, I don't
Okay.
know. Does anyone on this panel? Because we started talking about autonomy and agency, and I think my argument, is I think agency is a matter of degrees, and I think even dogs have agency. There's not a magical point at which you become an agentic being. I think agency is probably more like a slope, and dogs have a bit of agency, and Down syndrome people have more obviously than dogs, and then I obviously have more agency than Anson, and there's kind of like a sliding scale.
Yeah, but the scale tips over and becomes like it splits when you become a majority, right? When you no longer need to be the ward of someone else in order to survive. And so that's why Down syndrome people don't have agency, because they rely on other humans, external sanctions from other people constantly to control the outcome of whether or not they continue living, right?
But
And
don't we all, like, you would say you have agency, Anson, but like, don't you rely on like infrastructure and roads and like could you do all
Right,
that stuff
yeah.
yourself? You know what I mean? Like if everything stopped.
No, that's different. That's different. I'm talking about on an individual level, not on a cultural, societal level. Yes, humans are hive animals, and to a degree, they require the other members of the hive in order to live, right? But on an individual agent level, like moral agent level, where I decide whether or not I'm going to make a decision, and that decision basically impairs my life because I'm incapacitated in my ability to make decisions, right? Like Down syndrome people can't do everything to be able to make themselves move forward in life. They rely on someone else to exist, to live. Without someone else, they would no longer live. And like I could go and live in the woods for a year and be fine, right?
Well, what happens if I make the choice to not to eat? Does that mean I'm making a choice out of something antithetical to agency?
Well, it depends on why you made that choice. I can think of a bunch of reasons why someone would choose not to eat and it be a virtuous act.
Well, I guess. Well, what if there's no reason behind it? I'm just making the choice not to eat.
So
Would that
your
mean I'm no longer.
your
I would
survival,
say it's still an agentic choice, right?
well,
Yeah.
your survival instincts are impaired.
But does that mean it's not agency?
But yeah, if you're doing it for no
Can you
reason,
not-
if you're doing
can
it
you
for no
not
reason,
choose?
yeah.
But isn't to be truly free to just decide, you know what, I want to impair my survival instincts? Like, isn't that in some ways like the most like free action to be like, I can choose to do that?
Because a Down syndrome
If
person
anything, it
could
feels
choose
like
to
a
do that.
slave mentality. Be like, I have
Your-
to.
So your
I have
choice
to
is
go
to,
along with my survival instincts.
your choice is to impair your agency. You choose.
But why would
to be
not
a fool.
eating impair your agency? I guess
Because it would result in you no longer being able to be an agent.
eventually.
Yeah.
If we mean like not eating forever, then
Yeah,
yes. Unless you're
yeah.
a breatharian, which was brought up yesterday.
God damn
You'll
it.
never guess by who. Just kidding.
Maryland.
What?
Maryland's awesome. I love Maryland.
What
Marilyn, we
happened?
were talking about breatharians. Remember yesterday?
Yeah.
Mm.
Goated. Very.
Goated, except it never really works for them is the problem. But it would be goated. I wish it was a thing that you could do. You know, I wish I could live off of breath and sunlight alone. But you know, inshallah, okay, one day. And then I'll be a truly agentic being. Okay, fuck all y'all. Okay, so I feel like, I guess we went through this one enough.
Wait, is Topanga pregnant? Congratulations.
Topanga is pregnant. Yeah, she
Congratulations.
is.
That's the
know
best
that?
news ever.
You didn't
Yeah.
know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Congrats.
Hell, that's. I just read in the chat. The baby insider tells her what to eat. That's the best news I've heard. Everybody
Topanga's
should have
been making
babies.
more than just bread. Okay, I'm just gonna say
I
that.
want babies. I want more babies.
Yeah, babies are awesome. They're the best.
Yeah,
Maryland needs 2 or
yeah.
3 more.
Oh my God. But yeah, 2 or 3. Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 more. Okay.
Moving
Let me
on.
delete this so I don't accidentally put this up. Okay. Does intent matter more than outcome? I'm not sure exactly why I put these in quotes in the moment. But yeah, does the intent of an action matter more than the outcome? You know, separating the maybe virtue ethicist possibly from the consequentialist. I don't know. I'm not trying to poison the well, but does the intent of an action matter more than its outcome? Take that as you will, Alex. Starting with you.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
It's on the bottom. It's on the bottom of the screen, guys. Anyone who doesn't remember the prompt, it's on a running banner.
More
right?
than okay, more than is what I was looking for. I don't. When it comes to looking at the morality of the action, it could. I'm sure there's certain circumstances where your intent doesn't matter or isn't all that material to the morality of the choice, but yeah, I would say intent matters more than the outcome with regards to morality of the choice, not in terms of like how we should feel about the outcome.
Okay. Big Soda.
What was the question again?
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I would say yes, intent matters. Like especially if we're talking in the framework of sins, I would say that intent. There may be some small exceptions, but I would say almost in every case the intent matters more than the outcome.
Okay, Anson.
It's impossible to know the future. So, in order to be able to know the outcome of something, you would have to be able to have a skill which no human has. So, weighing outcome in any decision whatsoever is stupid.
We'll get to the cross.
I held back. Just go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I heard that. Very good self-control, Alex. A display of agency, if you will. Okay.
True.
Marilyn, does intent matter more than outcome?
People actually think about outcomes and like plan for it.
I mean, some people maybe.
I'm confused.
Is that your answer, or does the intent of a
that's
moral
my
action
answer.
matter more than the outcome? That's the question. That could be your answer. That's fine. Is that your answer?
Do people really like think of outcomes before they happen?
That's a crazy question. I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people don't. That maybe should, but yes. But that's fine.
Oh.
Okay.
True.
Okay.
Okay, young Christian. Does intent matter more than outcome, or what's good, young Christian?
I think it depends on a personal or not. On a personal level or not.
What? Wow, 2 non-answers in a row. Crazy times. Okay, I will give an answer. I think intent, broadly does matter more than outcomes, but I caveat that by saying the intention should ultimately take into account the outcomes. So you should at least be trying to estimate what the outcome is in your intention, but ultimately I think morals are intent-based. Okay,
So-
intent-based.
So how do you measure the outcome until it's the past?
I would say you can't. I would say it's an estimated outcome.
Yeah, based on past experience.
We had the ability to predict what's going to happen if we act a certain way based on what we know or what we've seen in the past or what we've seen happen with other people. So we absolutely can foresee consequences.
No, we can
Well,
we can estimate consequences. Hope that we're right, but we could make like the most colossal blunder ever, thinking that the outcome is going to be terrific, and everything is lined up based on all of our past experience, and it just be totally fucked up, right?
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
That's when
the future isn't knowable, but the only thing that's always knowable is why I'm making the decision I'm making, whether it's from a place of virtue or not.
Well, that's only knowable to you. All anyone else knows is the outcome.
Right. Well, who cares if someone else knows something? My virtue is only important to me.
That's valid.
Well, sure, but then are you saying that you not feel guilty if you did something thinking you were helping someone and instead you got them killed?
Was I acting like appropriately?
Sure.
Why would I feel guilty about something tragic happening if I did nothing wrong?
Well, because maybe if you hadn't acted at all, they wouldn't have died.
But I even agree with Anson. I think I would feel guilty, but I would say I ought not feel guilty. If I acted actually in the best way I possibly could, according to my virtue, and someone ended up dying, I probably would feel guilty, but I don't think I should feel guilty about that.
I agree with you there, Confluence.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to hit you all, okay? This is where I'm going to hit you all, okay? For all of you intent bros, myself included, okay? So if a classic example, right, is like drunk driving. A drunk driver's intent is never to harm someone. In the moment, their agency is kind of limited, and they're just intending to maybe drive a little bit, and they think they're fine. They're like, hey, I can drive okay. And then they end up killing somebody. Does that outcome matter, or does the intent matter? You can imagine a situation where someone who's like, 20 years old is like, hey, it's probably going to be fine. They're not really thinking about it. They're just trying to have a good time. Their intent is nothing negative at all. But the outcome ends up being tragic and could kill a lot of people. And to bring it into real life, there's a person on TikTok that everyone talks about named Cameron, who was not drunk, but he was doing, street racing. He ended up killing a mother and her child. And, I don't think his intent in street racing was to harm anyone. His intent was probably just to have a good time, but the outcome is 2 dead people. So, thoughts?
So the action of doing things for the purpose of having a good time lacks virtue and results in calamity. And that's a well-known thing. Seeking base level pleasure is degenerate. That's why drinking in excess and street racing are both things that are destructive.
Agree with Anson. I think
Ew.
they're fools.
But not. But like if I just drink a lot, like okay, yesterday I did drink a little too much, and when I was talking to Brandon, I couldn't really understand what he was saying, but I didn't get behind the wheel of a car. So it's like, yeah, maybe it's like maybe I drank a little too much, but like I think most of us would be like, okay, that's not like that bad.
Right.
But if I started driving at that point, then that becomes like my intention might not be. My intention might just be in the same way I'm intending to. I'm drinking because my intention is to like have fun on panel and just for a bunch of reasons. But if I then got behind the wheel of a car, my intentions might be to also just have fun. So they might be both like an impairment of my virtue, but not on the same level.
Yeah, but
Getting behind the car is an outcome-based thing.
Drinking and driving is dangerous. And it could get people killed.
Yeah,
Well, my intent
Christian,
isn't to do that.
hang on.
Christian,
This
have you ever been drunk?
Yeah.
Okay. How impaired is your thinking when you're drunk?
I've never been drunk and been like, I'm gonna go drive now.
I didn't ask if you did that. I'm just asking how impaired is your thinking?
I mean, I don't get like super wasted like that. The few times I have, I fall asleep. I don't know, throw up, fall asleep.
Okay.
well,
I guess my point is
Like I don't
intent formed under impairment isn't going to be as or I guess the consequences of an action where you inform the intent while you were impaired.
So you don't think it's the
isn't going to be
person's
as big.
responsibility
Just
to
let me finish.
ensure that if
Let
they're
me
gonna
finish.
if they do that, to make sure that that doesn't happen?
I think that most of the time driving drunk doesn't result in any harm.
Based.
But when it does,
Actually
it
true,
is
yeah.
tragic and unfortunately horrific. I think putting yourself in that situation is really stupid. So let's say you decide to go to the bar and drink and then drive home. Well, your intent to drive home was formed before you started drinking, because how else would you going to get home from the bar, right? Now, if you had planned everything to like, if you had, I guess I don't really know. There's circumstances where you would have done this correctly. You would have taken someone else's
Right.
ride or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you ended up having to drive because of some reason. That would be a little different, I would
So you don't
say,
think-
than
so
going
you're
there
saying-
with the
so
intention in the
responsibility is
first place.
just kind of like out of the prior to making the plans, prior, like just responsibility. Even in the moment, responsibility is just out the window.
No, responsibility and morality are different things. You're responsible for your actions.
Right. We're talking about
connected.
drinking and driving.
Yeah. What's your point?
Yeah.
Well, I would argue the moment you intend to get drunk, every action after is also an intent.
Yep. You intended to lose control of yourself by showing lack of moderation, which is not virtuous.
That
What if-
that feels.
what if
I
you
take
had to-
issue with that.
Hold on,
because
yeah,
like,
what
you
if-
would drunk?
What if you're given medications,
you can't drink
or
every time. It's just be responsible.
what if you're just given
Yeah, like-
medications? Like let's say you have a really bad sleeping issue, and so they give you Ambien, but the Ambien, like you do like a
Fuck with your brain.
you sleep drive to a store, shop, and then on your
Buy
way
a
home end up
turkey.
hitting someone. Is that your fault because you took an Ambien because you knew that it would impair you? Like,
No,
Well,
Alex.
If you sleep,
Joe
drive,
Rogan talked about this.
can you hide your keys?
No, Joe.
No.
No, Alex. Joe Rogan talked about this, where he had a friend that was taking Ambien. He went to the store, bought a turkey, cooked it, and ate it, and didn't realize he did it.
yeah, you are fully conscious. It's just you don't form any memories and you don't have any actual agency while you're doing it.
I've done that shit on Xanax before. Okay,
So,
I'll tell you.
You could have someone.
Sometimes.
You could have someone else hide the keys for you, but you
Mhm.
cannot hide your own keys because you know where they
Exactly.
are.
if you're voluntarily participating in like sleeping medicine and stuff like that, then I would say yes, the intent still falls on you. Now, if you're drugged
if you're-
or
wait,
Well,
if
that's a
you're-
little
if you're-
that's a little
I just stopped that
That's
responsibility.
crazy.
Yeah,
If
and
you're just
okay, well,
taking
how
a-
is it?
no, it's not crazy.
Well,
it's crazy because
okay,
if you're taking a sleep medication to sleep and then you end up in like a zombie-like state and you do some
So
nonsense,
you lack
that drug has side effects, correct?
yeah,
that
do you
is one of
know?
the-
Are you an eternal being that you know all the side effects and how they would impact yourself?
But when you
Most
take the
people
drug,
do
you're
not
agreeing
suffer
to
from that side effect. Most people do not
Right.
suffer from the
But-
side effect.
but
That
when
is an
you take
incredibly
the
rare
drug-
side effect.
When you take the drug, you're agreeing that hey, these side effects has arisen. So your intent's implied the moment you take the medicine voluntarily.
Okay, so hold on.
On the
If
bottle,
you
it doesn't say
know-
the side effect is like cooking a turkey and possibly like burning your house down, though.
No,
if you're
but
taking like Ambien, it doesn't
does
say that.
describe
Hold
subconscious
on,
actions
Soda.
and stuff like
Soda.
that.
This is an outcome.
Soda, are you saying that you should be responsible for even like the rarest possible outcomes just because you decided to participate in something?
Oh, okay. So just using this specific example as well. Yes, if I were to take sleeping medicine and I were to get pulled over, and I were to get pulled over while taking sleeping medicine, I would still get charged for it. So yes, I think the
Driving
intent's
while
still
under
there.
the influence.
That's not the
Driving while under the
question.
influence.
That's not the
That's
question.
not the question.
Well, okay. Well, then, like, what example do you have to state like
You don't
your
think-
question?
Alex, do you think someone's responsible for ensuring that even if it is rare and they're taking that drug to make sure that just on the off chance that does happen to take the necessary precautions?
Oh, no, I actually don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think you should have to take precautions for every possible outcome of every possible thing that could possibly happen of every
Well-
medication you possibly take. Like
Well,
we all know that like
memories.
hold on. We all know that like Tylenol can cause liver damage, right? It's liver damage.
Take too much of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a
Well,
lot of it.
let's say that the drugstore sells you one that's not made correctly, and the thing that causes liver damage is a lot more prevalent than the one you take. And you take a very small one, and your liver gets damaged. Is that your fault for taking the medication?
That's different, though.
You knew
That's
it could
different.
happen.
No, that's different.
you
That's-
knew it could
no,
happen.
That's
You had-
different. That is
Yes, but
different.
you weren't
You're
given
not taking precautions?
No.
How is
You
that
weren't given
different?
what
Wait,
you were
how?
told.
Wait, Anson, how is that
Wrong,
different?
He's saying
How's that different?
There's a non-zero
Ambien-
possibility
in one
the company that
example-
made the acetaminophen could have fucked up and made it like 10 times
Right.
as strong.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a
that's
non-zero
what was wrong
possibility.
there.
It's
Would that
totally
not
You
be-
accept
different.
that possibility.
It's totally
Would that not be an
different.
example of drugging someone? You're
Yeah,
giving
no,
them something
no,
they're
because
unaware
no.
of who taking.
But no,
That's
you
totally
know,
different.
you're taking
You
the
know,
Tylenol. You know, it could have
the
been
medication
it could have been a
specifically
mistake.
says
That
it
is
can
the
cause
logic
liver
is-
damage and
is
bleeding.
incorrect in that analogy. Look, what
It's
you're
a
saying.
very rare thing.
Yeah,
It's
but
more
it's part of-
common when
no,
you
no, it
take a
shows-
high
you're-
dosage,
no,
You're
it
but
saying
shows-
you can't
no.
you can't take a single Tylenol and it damage your liver like that.
That's
So,
in
that's
theory,
quality
if your
control
liver
issue.
is already overextended because of some other issue, it could actually.
So
Yes,
you already
yes,
know that
that's
your
true.
But
liver's
that's not the
busted.
Tylenol's fault, though.
You
That's
might.
your
What if
fault.
you don't know your liver's already busted?
What if you don't know? Yeah, what if you don't know your liver's
There's a
busted?
Well, now
non-zero
you know.
chance, young
wait,
Christian, your
do we
liver
have an
could already
example
be
of that?
busted,
How
and now
would
you're
you
taking
not
Tylenol that you
know?
know can cause hepatotoxicity,
And if
and
your liver is already
your
like,
liver gets
how do you not
busted
know
even
your
more.
liver's
Christian, how
busted?
often do you get your liver tested?
about every 3
If your
months.
liver's busted to where one Tylenol
If you get a
takes
blood
it out,
test, they can check your liver through your
Hey,
blood.
Well,
well, hang on. Can we get an
liver's
example of that
busted.
happening?
No,
Can
you
we,
actually wouldn't.
know
Can
your
we get an
liver's busted.
example of someone taking one Tylenol and it going over the threshold to destroy a
It may
kidney?
be a possibility. There may be a possibility.
That's it.
I'm
Well,
sure
maybe
there's
a
somebody. Yeah.
possibility. That could be 0.0000000000001%
Well, how small is the
chance.
possibility that Ambien's going to make you sleepwalk like that?
Well, hang
It's
on. That
pretty
would
high.
mean that
Right.
it hasn't happened, and so you don't have a viable option of it happening, and so we have to rely
But you
on.
know it can.
But
Its
has it?
warning is on the
Has
bottle.
it?
It's not.
Well,
it's not how
yes,
Tylenol
that's through
works.
consumption. Like it's an example of okay. Well, there's been people to take a certain amount of quantities, and it's led to
Well, it's not
liver
just a certain amount of
damage.
quantities. It's
I'll be
other
right
things
back.
your
I'm gonna go
liver's
fact check
dealing
this.
with, right? If you drink a lot,
So this
and you
is
take a
different.
Tylenol, it can
This
cause
is
your liver damage.
different.
Can you give me an
No,
example
your
of someone
analogy.
taking
No,
one
hold on,
Tylenol
hold
and
on.
it doing
Y'all are
that?
engaging in a bad faith analogy here, right? So the Tylenol example isn't analogous to the Ambien example because in one scenario you take the Ambien, you have a rare side effect. In the other scenario, you take a dosage that is never recommended and you have a bad side effect, right? That
Exactly.
it's totally different.
Just that's
No,
not
One
like
no
example-
one
how it
said
works.
that. Wait, no
Yeah,
one said that. Wait,
he
who
Well,
said that?
did. He
Well,
baked it
Alex
into his
did.
hypothetical.
Alex
didn't.
Yeah, he did. He said, well, what happens when one Tylenol you're given has an abnormality in it in which it has too much of a certain substance that gives you
Yeah,
Right,
but
so
then
you're
that-
right. So
that
you're not
becomes a
you're not
quality
intentionally
control issue.
taking a dose that is never
You are.
recommended.
That's what causes you to
it's not
die.
well, no, that dose. That you should
Hold
have
on.
never
You
taken that
know-
specific Tylenol.
You are a dog.
Have drug companies made
Yeah,
made
you're
Tylenol or other
appealing. You're
drugs
appealing to
incorrectly?
infinite possibilities, right? Oh yeah, an
No.
infinite universe. All
I'm
sorts of
actually not.
infinite
This was
things can
actually a
happen.
common
because-
thing that
but it's
happened.
unrelated to the ambient example, right? In the
It's-
ambient
it's
example, you
not at
lack
all unrelated.
virtue. You lack virtue because you
I'm
can't
taking-
solve. No, calm down.
I'm taking what
No,
he
calm-
said
calm
to its
down,
extreme
Alex.
because that's where
calm
the
down,
logic
calm down. I'm
works,
talking.
right?
Shut up. I'm
Go ahead.
talking. Okay. Look, in the ambient example, when you are taking drugs because you can't manage your own affairs enough to sleep, then you've lost your virtue to the point where you're relying on the pharmaceutical industry to drug you to
So
sleep, and
that's
you've
a-
impaired your virtue. Right.
Okay, so
even,
I see.
even
So-
taking drugs to sleep is lack of self-control and lack of self-awareness and
Tell
lack
me you
of
don't know
ability
how
to deal with your own
biochemistry
problems.
works without telling
So
me.
hold
that.
on.
Okay,
I
Alki,
think
tell me
I
about
understand.
drugs, Alki. Go ahead.
I think I understand. Okay, so your
Pot
point
kettle
is
black. Okay.
your point is because they're doing something that you think is
Taking
unvirtuous.
drugs. They're taking drugs. Yeah.
Sure, they're
Maybe he
taking a
wasn't
drug
writing the letter.
that is legal but unvirtuous to
Well,
you.
legal is
It
irrelevant.
means that whatever happens to
Yeah.
them is completely on them and doesn't really
Yep.
matter, right?
If you take drugs, there are consequences
making
to
sure.
being there's consequences to being a druggie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We
If
addressed
you
it.
if you take drugs, there are consequences.
I would challenge a different angle for this. I would say
I would
with
hope
the-
so, Soda. I
Yeah,
would hope so.
yeah,
Tylenol
with the
Tylenol
Tylenol,
doesn't work.
I'm being given something that I'm unaware when I'm taking the substance. So if there's one Tylenol that has way too much of substance A, which causes liver damage, that means my intention when taking Tylenol was not to take
be a
this
crazy
this
Tylenol.
specific Tylenol that has too much of substance A. I was under the assumption that I was taking a regular Tylenol, which with the Ambien situation, the Ambien, I'm taking it knowing that, hey, these side effects happen with the correct dose versus a Tylenol example. I'm not aware that this one symptom happens with this one dose.
All right, so I'll like to answer the question that Suppose does. Intent matter more than the outcome? Well, if I intend to split the atom, the outcome is either I have clean energy or 140,000 people die in the morning, and 140 people died in the morning. 140,000 people died in the morning. So, the good intention of I want to have clean energy is paid. Good intent. Hell is paid in good intent, paved in a road of good intentions, and we see that time and time and time again. Like what was it? Yeah, 140 people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki were obliterated. 140,000 people were obliterated in a span of 5 minutes. Just like it didn't even reach impact; it was just in the air. So, to allude to Alex's drug reference, like if a Tylenol is way over the dosage that is recommended, that one Tylenol becomes a quality control issue. Let's say that person was inspecting that Tylenol pill, but they probably had a bad day or they were sick or something where a quality control issue happened and it went unnoticed. So they had all the intent of checking it to make sure it was the right dosage, but something happened to where the outcome is your liver has failed. And I don't. It's not your fault, dude. It's just a quality control issue.
Right, exactly. I guess that was kind of my thing, punting off what Alex said before, is that anytime you take any drug, there is a non-zero chance that the quality control could be fucked up, and then you do something that ends up like causing some adverse reaction. Like I feel like we can apply all these probabilities to all these situations.
Yeah,
And if we're talking about like side effects of medication, that's like there's like some like if you give your kid, I guess as a real example, if you give your kid ADHD medication, any ADHD, amphetamines or just stimulants that are not amphetamines, if you check the side effects, one of the risks is sudden death. That's one of the risks of methylphenidate, of dextroamphetamine, of levoamphetamine, of desoxin, all this stuff. That is always one of the side effects, could be sudden death. So if you know that if you give your kid ADHD medication, and if you give your kid that and your kid dies, do you feel morally responsible because that is like one of the super rare side effects of the medication?
Well, the thing is, if as a parent, I probably would feel responsible because I gave it to my child. And it's like,
and you probably should have waited a little bit before doing that.
Super Chat's waiting for
and you're like whistling.
You're like it's God.
I feel a little guilty when my child died.
Super Chat's wait for nobody. Confluence has to eat, okay?
My lord. Coco, my
Sorry,
lord.
continue on.
$15? You can do that? Oh, that's A. Where is that from?
Kokomo is omnigoted.
Australian. 15 Australian dollars.
Well, think about it. Kokomo could have sent that money to someone less unfortunate who hadn't eaten today. And instead, he's being very sinful by sending it to Confluence.
Confluence hasn't eaten today, so kind of same.
Eat.
Is that because you spent all your money on alcohol, Confluence?
It is not, Anson. It is not.
I told you
You'd be surprised.
As Confluence from the future, I can tell you he spent all that money on alcohol.
I've spent nearly $40 in super chats just today. I spend so much in super chats.
And none of it to Confluence. Crazy
Dang.
times. Crazy.
Confluence, by this time of night, I've spent so much money. I'm embarrassed.
Marilyn, you didn't send that money to starving children?
You need to start your live stream earlier, Con.
Yeah, apparently to catch those Maryland bucks, I got to start earlier.
I'll send you a super. I've spent a lot today in supers.
But what? Okay, so I understand everyone's mad that that I started I read Kokomo's donut. But to go back, I guess, to the ADHD thing. Okay, so you give your child that. There's a possibility they could die, right? But if any of us had a super ADHD kid, well, not any of us, because I wouldn't give my kids that shit. Okay, to be clear, that also I don't like that to begin with. I'm not going to give my kids amphetamines or stimulants. But if you do, what's good?
But this raises another question to me for the intent and outcome. All right, everybody sees it. You see the damn harpy eagle. His intent is to eat, right? He hunts a monkey and he kills him. The outcome is he kills a monkey and he's eating the monkey. Yeah, this guy. All right. Is he wrong?
That's not an answer to my. That's not an answer. How does that relate to my?
I don't think they're judged by sin or intent or outcome.
I want to focus. I want to focus in unless you're getting somewhere, but I want to focus on that side effect example because that's a. I'm not a parent. I think probably half of us here, maybe more than half, are parents. Would you never give your kid an ADHD medication because it's possible that it could have a sudden death side effect?
I personally wouldn't. No.
I was gonna say I probably wouldn't. But then let's make the argument a little bit more extreme. Like let's say it's so your child has cancer and there's a certain medicine that does the same exact thing with sudden death, but it also does really good at fighting off, I guess, cancerous cells. Would you give your child that type of medicine? I mean, I'm sure there's a threshold with it, correct?
Right, I would. It's like you do risk reward all the time.
Just to be clear, I think the problem may be some people don't actually believe in ADHD or don't care about what it means for the kid if they don't have the medication.
Oh yeah, I've met plenty of those. The ones with the single mom households because the mom basically is a total loser and doesn't have a father around to teach the little boy how to be a man and be a boy, and so the boy gets told to take these drugs to not annoy mom so she can drink her wine in the evenings and have checks and service her. Yeah, no, I've seen plenty of those. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Or
I know exactly what ADHD is. That's usually what it is.
Or that the teacher in the school is saying, "Oh, your son is too hyperactive. He needs to be put on medicine," and the kid's a fucking zombie.
Okay. All this stuff can be true, but also ADHD is an actual thing. Okay.
It's an actual thing, but it's
Did you cap about the
manageable
sudden death?
without medication.
Did I what?
Did you cap about the sudden death?
No, definitely not.
I
No,
just
that's
Googled it. It says
that's
it's
a
not
side
considered
effect.
one.
Are you kidding me? Of what?
Yeah,
Of what drug?
ADHD. Medicine.
Which version of
Which-
ADHD medication?
Oh, you didn't specify.
There's dozens.
I did. I named methylphenidate, a dextroamphetamine, levoamphetamine, and
Yeah, I don't know how
digoxin.
it's
All
spelled.
four I named have
Yeah,
sudden
yeah,
death. as one
Confluence.
of the
How are we supposed to
possible
spell
effects.
that?
Can you spell those and put them on the
Misunderstood.
screen?
Yeah.
Look up the side effects.
Sure.
Oh yeah, or just look it up.
I
look
can
it up.
spell them all. This is an easy thing to look up. This is not like I'm not saying some like weird thing that people don't.
You're saying weird stuff we've never heard of.
I was like,
Hack and
you know
scroll.
what?
Methylphenidate is known as Concert and Ritalin, first of all, so you probably have heard them by that name. Digoxin is also methamphetamine, which is given to kids with ADHD.
Giving kids meth is crazy.
Levoamphetamine is found in Adderall. I don't remember the combo. And
To be clear-
dextroamphetamine is Dexedrine. So Dexedrine is dextroamphetamine. So I'm typing all of these in chat. I hope I'm spelling it
Your-
right. But Google
Your
will correct
kid
it.
likely has a different condition or different
man. Okay.
pre-existing conditions if it's going to cause this. I don't know of any like normal healthy kid who suddenly gets sudden death from taking Adderall
All right, I'm
medication.
looking up the
Yeah,
first one.
usually they just become druggies in high school and become
Even worse.
adults because
Yeah, I think it's
they're living
usually
their life
it's
on
the
drugs.
same. It's the same with like illegal drugs with like cocaine and crack and stuff. It's like there is a non-zero chance that you can just like take that and die. Does this happen to even athletes before? Yeah, probably have like a congenital heart defect, but sometimes you don't know, and a lot of people don't know if their kids have got it. We have a super chat from Topanga, the $20 from Topanga. Wait, let me hit you with that, Bradley. I don't know if I agree with this. There is only one God. You have me in the first half, okay? La ilaha illallah. Okay, I do agree with that, right? But Maryland is not him. I mean, I don't know. I think Maryland's like a part of him, if you think about it. But thank you, Topanga,
Which
for the
part is
$20.
Maryland? Which part is she the vagina?
Is a GPU a computer Confluence?
A GPU is, I would say, a part of a computer.
Well, but it's not a computer, is it?
Oh,
it's a part of a computer.
roasted.
If I go buy a GPU,
GPU.
That's not sad.
am I going to be able to play computer games?
Did I ask it wrong? Here?
No, but if you buy a Raspberry Pi, you can do simple things on that. And Maryland's kind of like a Raspberry Pi, if you think about it.
A raspberry
That's that
Pi.
simple language.
Yeah, I know that
That
sounds
sounds
weird, but
fun.
Raspberry Pi is a legitimate like technological device.
It's not raspberry on her pie though. That's different.
No, that's a very different thing.
Look, Mike Issertel had it right. Mike Issertel had it right. If you watch one of the videos, Mike Issertel had it right.
It says it doesn't list sudden death as one for the first one.
For methylphenidate,
Yeah.
Confluence. I'm starting to
Oh.
question this.
So some of
do
these.
you want me to pull up a fact sheet?
No,
of
I mean,
Yeah,
you
why don't
can-
you? Yeah.
you
Please,
can-
please.
you can-
Let's
yeah,
do
we at least,
it.
we at least
I'm saying,
agree.
I'm just-
At least I will say the first one. The first one is the most is the safest
so
one.
far.
It is.
The
The
other-
first one
the
is
other-
the safest one by
I'm
far.
like-
Yes,
about
the
to-
other three
I'm
are
about to-
amphetamine coded, as in their actual amphetamines.
Yeah,
And by
I'm about to-
levoamphetamine, again, kind of replace that with Adderall because I think, again, it's like a 25-75 mix. I can't remember. I think it's 25 levo. Levo just means left half, and dextro means right half of the amphetamine molecule. But methylphenidate, fine. I'll look up the fact sheet of methylphenidate.
Yeah. All I know is that all the kids that I knew in high school that did this sort of stuff were fun to hang out with because they were all druggies.
Which is-
Every one of them were burnout losers who ended up not doing a whole lot with
You know-
their life because their parents drugged them all through their childhood and didn't really love them. They just wanted to fix them with drugs.
It's
Bro.
interesting that you
Oh,
apply
but
such a
still,
broad brush to such a wide group of people without
I
actually
know,
knowing anything
yeah.
about them.
You're right. I haven't known all of these kinds of people during my life. You're right. I
I'm
have
sure
no
you have
personal
not.
experience.
No.
The
No
second
personal
one, the
experience with
second
this
one does
whatsoever.
say it's
Yeah.
a side
Oh,
effect.
I'm sorry. You're right. Your small
Okay.
small amount of personal experience
Yeah,
is
you're
absolutely
right. I'm not allowed to
applicable
base
the
anything on
entire
my own personal
world of people
experience.
around you.
I'm on.
Of the
I've already
degenerate
got- I've already
society
got
that
this
we
far,
have
but just
today, where
skip the
people
rest.
replace parenting with drugs and technology. Yeah, no,
People
I know nothing
absolutely
about
do that.
Yeah.
That's not a question at all. But
Yeah.
to say
And
that
this
it's
is like-
every single
like-
one of
like
those
exhibit
parents is
one
kind of
of, like,
stupid, wouldn't you agree?
chemically lobotomizing all of our children to make them more passive, yeah, no, I'm all behind that. Yeah,
that,
why wouldn't I
that
be
can and does happen.
behind chemically lobotomizing all of our
Okay.
children with all these
All
drugs?
right.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. No, keep on defending that degeneracy, Alex. Go
The
ahead.
second one,
So
it was
question, do you think
the
that's
third one,
every
it was
single
like,
case?
yeah.
Do you think that's every single case?
Did I say it was every single case? No, of course.
You're acting like it. You sure as hell act like it.
I'm sure that there's like 2% of these kids that actually have a problem. There.
Oh,
now,
okay.
now that the
I'd
exception
be willing
has
to
been
agree with you
removed,
there.
why don't you engage with what I'm saying about most of them, jackass?
Hey, I'm totally willing to agree with you on that. The number
What
of kids
about
that actually
diet?
need this probably
What about
incredibly
diet?
small compared to the ones that do get it. For sure.
Con.
What about-
Questions asked.
Yeah, but what about diet?
Yes.
What about diet with kids?
The
Like,
first
the
and
food
last
that they're
one
eating.
don't, but the two in the middle
you think
do.
this could be a factor
Okay.
in this all? Is the diets that is the food that they're eating for children?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Okay,
so,
I have
so
to-
to
I
be
have
clear,
to-
you should try literally everything
That's just why I
else before
searched
you
up.
go to medication.
Briefly,
Absolutely.
I have to
Without
defend
doubt.
myself, but defend my honor.
I'm
Okay, I
not-
know you
I'm
guys
not
are having
calling
something
you
different
out.
going on.
I
No, I know.
went into
This
the
is from the
rabbit hole,
FDA about methylphenidate. Serious
fuck the
cardiovascular events.
FDA.
Sudden death has been reported. Sudden death, stroke, myocardial infarction, aka a heart attack, arrhythmias, and this is the official FDA report for methylphenidate hydrochloride, which is just the suffix.
Hold on,
It's meth-
before
it's
you
Ritalin.
fear monger though, show what it says after that,
It's incredibly rare.
and it occurs when
abuse.
What? Probably.
abuse,
where do we see
structural
this?
issues in the
Yeah, I guess if you have
Yes,
the
I'm not
blood
trying to
body or heart.
fearmonger.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just
that
saying
would-
that.
that would be a side
Hey,
effect.
I just want to make sure before people take this and go, oh my God, every person who gives this to their kid is like risking their deaths instantaneously.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
everyone who gives
everything
it has,
can
it has the
happen.
chance. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It has the chance.
I
This is
mean,
why I brought this up.
Don't doctors normally test for like?
No. I know a lot of kids that are given ADHD meds. They are not checking their hearts. They
How's giving them ADHD meds for that?
what?
Who's giving them ADHD meds without testing anything?
Lots of doctors because they get paid for it.
They just test the mental, like they might like talk to the child, they might ask the parents, but they're not doing a physical test. I mean, they might check their like blood pressure and heart rate, but they're not like doing a chest X-ray or like an angiogram or like all this shit to like figure out if they're like
Just
fine.
even like a blood
Fine.
test to just.
Alexander put a dono in there, and you never gave him any credit for it or played any sounds for him.
Dude, you don't need
Almost
to.
like you don't appreciate it.
I don't have any donos.
Oh, your
Unless
shit's
it
broken
popped
then.
in my. Unless it hasn't popped in my StreamYards. Oh, Alex with the 50. Oh my god. Okay.
God
It hasn't-
dang.
Confluence taking the L.
pull it up. I can't even pull it
Damn,
up.
Tommy.
It's not in my Streamlabs.
Yeah,
It's, not, it's just on YouTube.
The thing.
Apparently everything is massively delayed. I can heart it right now. I'll play the sound effect anyway, and I'll pull it up.
No,
when
no,
it
no, no,
shows
no, no,
up.
no, no, no sound effects.
You get the sound effect twice for the $50. I don't know why. The last message I have in my super chat is me saying methylphenidate, digoxin, levoamphetamine, and dextroamphetamine.
Well, hang on, Confluence. With the precautions
Hold
and
on,
warning, is that different
I
than side effects?
What's the next
Can I-
topic?
Can I say something that answered right?
Yeah, you call me
Mhm.
anything you want, buddy. What's up?
Hey, so just to be clear, I thought your reaction was like to anyone doing anything like this, but you're right. 95, 97% of the time, these kids probably don't need any meds. Their parents just aren't around enough to take care of them, or they have different issues and doctors overprescribe because they're dumbasses. I
Yeah.
would completely agree with you on that.
Yeah, I've run across doctors who have so when my oldest son became an adult, he started going to a doctor and told his doctor he was depressed. He's autistic, and the doctor said, "Oh, you're depressed? Here's some SSRIs that I'm going to give this autistic person who can't keep a fucking routine more than a day." Right, and so what ended up happening was these damn SSRIs that this doctor gave him were not compatible with him in the slightest way because you can't treat autism with medication. And that's what the doctor was trying to do. And it ended up giving him anxiety attacks because he never could take it on the appropriate schedule because he's fucking autistic. And the doctor was a fucking moron who didn't understand what he was fucking doing. And I think that's what a lot of these doctors do.
Yeah.
They just think, oh, I've got these pills that'll, if I give them to them, the magic button will be pushed in their fucking brain and they'll be happy again. Fuck doctors. That's what I have to say about this. On all psychiatric medication, fuck every fucking doctor.
Yeah, those should be a lot of those things should be like last resort type things.
I think there's rare cases, but have you guys ever met someone who has like actual like ADD, like actual, not from like a parenting thing, but like they're like, you know, and so in those cases, maybe even still there's like better therapies to try, but I don't think it's all just like, okay, we're throwing, it's the same with people with like depression. There is some types of depression that I've met people that they've gone through like the magnetic resonance therapy. They've tried like all of these like weird things. They've tried like all these drugs, right? It just is not going away. They've tried every therapy in the book. And at that point, like, what do you do, right? Like you've tried so many things. Some of these people are just searching for an answer.
The only thing some of those respond to is that that electrical stimulation, like deep brain electrical stimulation. I've heard of people who suffered from like the worst forms of the stuff that nothing actually helps, finding some like actual relief there. But yeah, I mean, this stuff is mental illness is absolutely real. I think we need to accept that. And sometimes people need medication, but that shouldn't be the end step. That shouldn't be the be all end all. That should be like the thing you do on the way to finding a better solution.
The biggest thing to help with ADD is to subtract.
True. If you can subtract from ADD, then it becomes
AD.
True. Or divide it, I guess.
I don't know if I'm getting this. What does that mean? Like add or like what are we?
Add and subtracted. Come on. Math.
Add. Okay. I'm retarded. Okay, we're gonna, I guess, move to the next prompt. Although I'm gonna,
hang on. One question.
See any chat, so I think my stream is frozen. So I might, I'm gonna try refreshing.
Let me get one question for this. I guess this prompt, and it's mainly for the Christians. Alexander, you may be able to argue it, and Frankie and Christian, it's mainly for you. But with the intent matter more than the outcome, and it specifically talks about sin. Do you think intent outweighs the outcome if we're only talking about sin itself?
Repeat it, please.
Okay. In the aspect of just talking about sin under Christian philosophy, does intent matter more than outcome when committing a sin?
I think the intent of it is a little more than the outcome, because let's say the dude is intending to cheat on his wife. The intent, meaning the leading up to it, causes more sin to accumulate over time, and then when the outcome is established, it's kind of like a lackluster kind of thing. So then it becomes more of a I need more, because the intent brought it out in a worse way.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
I think I actually reevaluated my previous what I said previously on intent. I think intent may be really all that matters. I think especially when it comes to like theology, God, knowing what your intent is the only thing that matters to God, right?
Mm-hmm.
The outcome is, like Anson said, not always foreseeable, not guaranteed, and you don't know what's going to happen. So I think as a society, we judge each other based on outcome and what we think someone's intent might be. But because we can't know each other's intents, outcome is the only thing we can really measure. So that's how we judge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
So I think.
You're saying you never judge yourself objectively.
Yeah, wait. Why is there? Hold up. Why is there two Maryland? Did you join a different device, or is this a fake Maryland in my back chat?
I assume I got disconnected like I did.
Real Maryland's in the back chat. What are you doing, Confluence?
So I'm making sure.
The fake Maryland's up here right now. You just allow
Maryland. Okay, well that left, so I'm assuming
she got dropped.
It is a real Maryland. Okay, just making sure. Got a little paranoid there. Sorry to interrupt. You guys keep going.
What I was going to say is something that I've totally forgotten. So y'all keep talking.
Well,
Okay, well that
Confluence, a
leaves me a
question for
chance
you
to.
too.
I have to now I have to hit Alex with the bum. Okay,
Oh,
Alex,
God.
pretend I just pulled this up. Okay, Alex with the $50. Alex says you're a Raspberry Pi. That is true. Now I have to other chats that just pulled up. Okay, so again, I know this is back in time, but it's not my fault. Okay, Confluence is getting top shelf wine this week. True, as opposed to the box wine. You know,
I had a weird dream about Emmett.
we haven't had that in a while. I had a weird dream about fucking button the other day, so I feel
No,
like we
like,
all
I had a weird dream about Emmett. Was that like we were on your panel and we were talking, and then he said something about 10%, right?
Tithing.
And I was like, and I was like, 10%. Mire qué clase de calado tú eras, Cere. Tú vas a decir eso aquí, a mí, en el México barrio. Aquí con mi esposa aquí cocinando para mí.
Are you speaking in tongues, Frankie?
No, he's speaking Spanish.
you idiot.
I know.
The white man's joke fell flat.
Yeah, Frankie's real first name is Eduardo.
No,
Oh no. Fungus is a fungus.
my first name is Fernando. And then Emma was like, no, bro, que eso, vato. It's like, oye, mira, Cere, tú vas a decir eso aquí, porque yo no me gusta la pata, ni el 10% ni nada.
Translate your fucked dream. This sounds like a gay dream with Emmett, which like is a little sus, to be honest with you. But maybe if I heard it in English, maybe it wouldn't sound like that. But right now, all I hear is Poppy Emmett, and I'm like, that's a little strange, Frankie. That's a little
Emmett is my bottom bitch, though.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That would be his best skill.
Disavow.
Okay, now I think we're ready for the next topic.
Okay, now on that note. Okay, so some of you might, remember this, but this kind of was talked about before, but we have to go through it again. So briefly, just state your ethical system. Okay, what do you think? If you're unfamiliar with these, I will give my brief, retarded explanation. Consequentialism, right? You care about the consequences, right? You look at the consequence of an act to determine how good it is. Utilitarian, you care about the greatest good for the greatest amount of people, etc., and related theories. Virtue ethics, you're Anson coded and Confluence coded, and you care about if something harms your own virtue, and at the end of the day, all you can do is choose according to your virtue. Divine command theory, you think that morality comes from the divine, and so you're like Bible coded, and you're like, okay, God says don't kill, so therefore I shouldn't kill. Which one of and deontology, I think I missed that one. That's kind of like Kant, where he says that, just like stealing is always wrong. Some things are just like deontologically true. So stealing is always wrong under every single circumstance. There are caveats to each of these, and you can add modifiers to them. But to our best understanding, what ethical system would you pick out of these or other ones? Starting with you, Alexander.
I'm trying to find a better way to state mine, other than just like that 6-word mishmash.
You fucking communist.
But I think I've been like wrestling with the Izot gap forever, so I've been kind of working on ways to resolve that in a satisfying manner, and it comes from a mishmash of different philosophies that exist today and some that don't.
Okay. Big Soda.
So even after, I guess, Confluence, your talk with Brandon, I think I'm still leaning virtue ethics. But I want to be goated and say divine command theory, but I think I'm going to stick with my virtue ethics.
Based? Anson.
So, I'm going to try to do this. My ethical system, consequentialism, utilitarianism, virtue ethics, divine command, etc. I am a Greek virtue ethicist, but that is a system that is nested within the specific culture that I am, and it's also nested within what I consider to be the universe, which is the thing that human nature points towards in order to define what flourishing is, and that's why I went into the long detail about explaining that I'm a pre-evolutionary, romantic, anti-enlightenment, stoic, transcendental, culturally Christian, atheist, virtue ethicist, because all of those components feed into the last component, which is my virtue ethics. That's like the last stop my ethics on in terms of describing like what it is that I believe we're oriented towards that is above ourselves.
Okay. Young Christian.
I believe God establishes morality.
Like divine command theory, would you say? If you're familiar? Like that God gives commandments, so like stealing is wrong because God says it's wrong. Murder is wrong because God has told us murder is wrong.
Yep.
Okay. Frankie.
Oh, hold on, I was eating a donut. Vanilla.
Was it good? What kind of donut was it?
Vanilla sprinkles.
Ooh, vanilla sprinkles.
So for me, it would be a mixture of let's see, virtual ethics and divine command theory. It'll be a mixture of those.
Okay. Marilyn.
And also,
keep going.
Also, cold donuts taste better than hot donuts. Fight me.
You also said to put Oreos in the freezer.
You
All that
lost me.
shit.
You lost.
Which is crazy.
Oh,
Crazy.
weird.
He just contradicted his moral like foundation with
He
that.
went against his virtue ethics. He went against divine command theory.
Hold on. I actually can agree with you. If the donut is too sweet, being cold makes it less sweet.
No,
What?
dude, like,
Can we start kicking people from panel?
Degeneracy for
Seriously.
abject degeneracy.
No such thing as a donut that's too sweet. That's the dumbest thing you've said, Alex.
Have you never eaten anything that's just like so sweet it's unnaturally, stupidly sweet?
like
Yeah, and then I get a second one.
Oh, okay. I've never had that problem.
Yeah, bring back Alexandra.
No, fucking the donuts from Dunkin' Donuts, the cream delights, right? They look like a Boston cream donut, but but it's vanilla, but it's actually vanilla cream inside. Fucking you put that bitch in the fridge. That bitch tastes fucking amazing.
It's like pure sugar. It's pure sugar.
Fight me.
And yes, I would agree with you. When it's cold, that cream just feels so much better.
Yeah, fucking fight me.
That's a sus statement, but
I prefer cold and right out of the pipe. Okay.
Okay, I guess that's less sus, possibly. But okay, Marilyn.
I don't know what.
I'm not gonna ask that.
I don't.
Go ahead.
I don't know what any of that means. I'm God. God has characteristics. God has an identity. You have to know all the things and nature of God, and you already know what it is.
Oblivion.
You already know what it is to be Christ-like. He tells you to be Christ-like. Treat others how you want. Treat others above yourself.
Yeah.
Treat others above yourself.
No crosstalk,
and
Frankie.
to others' interest above your own.
Wait.
So
hold
I
on.
mean,
Alex, you're breaking rules.
No crosstalk. We're going through our things, and then we open it up. Okay, and then we open it up, and it's Confluence has to go. So I would say, Frankie kind of stole my thing with virtue ethics and divine command theory. I'm a virtue ethicist, but I think how we know a lot of this stuff is, I think, because God has commanded it. So God has told us, I think, what is good and bad, and then we use virtue ethics to try to aspire to those virtues, because I don't see how we would exactly know what a virtue is without first hearing it from God. And before we jump in, this is where the plot twist comes on. Remember, I told you to forget about it. I hope everyone did. Plot twist. For the moral system, you said Steelman. It's actually worse than the other systems. And then it'll be opened up. Oh, who saw that coming? So, Alex, take your system, explain why it's actually worse and you shouldn't follow it, and explain the flaws in it.
It's worse because it can be incredibly complicated and misleading, and people can come to conclusions that don't factually come from it, but it's just, yeah. So
Okay.
don't follow it because you're not me. How about that?
Okay. Big soda.
You're just not
So you
good
said
enough.
Virtue,
You're not good enough. It's okay.
It's a skill issue, you'd say.
It's a skill issue, yeah, for sure.
Okay. So Big Soda, why is divine command theory, or I guess no, you landed on virtue ethics. Why is that actually a terrible system, and why are other systems better than it? If you had to steel man it.
With the virtue ethics, it all depends on your foundation and your culture. So if let's say your culture or foundation gets usurped or it changes from what it was, it means now your whole moral structure can be altered just by what most people believe. And so it's a very shaky system that can be corroded over time. And so it's very unstable.
Okay. Anson.
My system relies on cultural norms that don't exist anymore, and it is a system that essentially depends on people not viewing themselves as individualistic, as like their highest form of being, and so it's incompatible with like 90% or 95% of modern Western civilization, and incomprehensible.
Okay, young Christian.
What?
You got to get back to me. Mine's just too good.
Not allowed. Not allowed.
Confluence, I'm joining from my phone. If you can let me in.
Oh, I see you. Right, young Christian, not getting away with it. Not getting away with it.
Yes, it depends on the God you worship.
Oh shit! True. That is actually probably one of the worst issues for yours. Huh?
It is okay. Frankie, too sweet.
Okay, so one thing. So number one, if you don't put your fucking shopping cart in the shopping cart like area, you're a piece of shit. Plain and simple.
Okay.
And get up your fucking
100%.
fat ass and put your fucking shopping cart back so other people could park in a parking lot, you dumbass.
If
Or
you
number two. It's just basically based on culture, you know what I'm saying? Like because my Christian ethics, my virtues may misalign with the fucking Muslims. So then because they like to Muslims because they like to circumcise women, which I think is fucking horrid. But to them it's a good thing. To me, it's blasphemy. So yeah.
All right. I think now let me move you around just to maintain the order. Okay. Oh wait, no, Alex already.
Yeah, Alex.
God, Big Soda leaves, and now I can't. I think it was Alex, and then it was Anson. Was he next?
No, it was Soda.
No, then it was Big
Anson,
Soda,
and then me.
then Anson, then Young Christian, then Frankie, then Marilyn. There we go. Okay, so Marilyn.
Put your shopping cart
Frankie.
back, Marilyn.
Man,
True.
sometimes they have jobs. They have people to do that, and
Nope.
sometimes.
You give me a good fucking human being and fucking do it.
But I'm not going to block a parking spot with my shopping cart so someone
And
can't
then
park
put
there.
it in the shopping cart bin. Then the
Yeah,
fuck.
if you can get
just
out of
gonna
your
block the
car and
aisle.
walk into the store to grab a cart, you can walk into the store to drop it off.
When I was
Mm.
17, I had one of those jobs to go get the carts. So I actually, I
do a good
didn't
job.
really care if
So
people.
bad. Do a good job, Con.
Like, we live in a
I
society
did a
with
great
rules.
job. Yeah.
People
Rules.
like
Push like
to
20
be
carts at once.
outside.
We live in a
They-
society with rules. Rules.
Those people like to go outside and get those carts if they're cooped
You know
up
what?
in.
You know what, Marilyn?
Hold
Though
on, aren't you
you
God,
live in
though?
you live in
Does
Florida.
God have trouble
but-
with that?
Maryland, if you lived where I live and you did that, I would be a little annoyed because in wintertime, if it's like minus
hell
40,
no.
then
That
it's
would be
like, then
fucked
I'm
up.
like,
No,
fuck
I
all
get
those
it.
people that are not putting their carts back because
Yeah.
I don't want to be
No,
outside
yeah,
for that shit.
I understand
Either
that.
It's a
summer
but we
nice
when
live
day
in
that I don't
Florida.
care.
50, or
Ooh,
winter when it's
Anson
minus
agrees with me.
40.
Yeah.
I do live in Florida.
So do I. And it's like, put your fucking shopping cart back in Publix. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah. So if we, and that's
Oh my
why I
God,
said like
Florida. Jesus.
that's what I was talking about like steel manning the opposition to mine.
Wait, I
like,
haven't steel man mine yet though. We have to, Confluence wants his time in the sun as well. Okay, so
Anson, you
would-
talk so still.
I would say my thing flow is, I think I'm going off of what other people said, which is why I go last so I can, because yes, I think not only I wouldn't even have to go into other religions, but I would say it depends how you take the Bible. Like I could look at like the slaughter of the Amalekites and be like, you know what? That's where I get my virtue ethics from, that I should be like slaughtering people that I disagree with. So it heavily depends on how you interpret the Bible and what verses you focus on and all that stuff. And then there's also issues that I think that like there is a degree of consequences that can probably happen where it's like, okay, you should maybe course correct. And maybe if you're just focused on, no, this is what the Bible says, and this is what my virtue ethics are, you could possibly end up in a situation where you're doing a bunch of stuff that's leading to like horrible consequences, which is why sometimes I like threshold deontology, which is basically saying that like you do what is right. So like stealing is a bad thing to do, but there are edge cases where then stealing actually isn't so bad. So that would be like the classic, like you can lie, but if you're lying about Jews being in your basement and stuff, and the Yahtzees are coming, it's probably not actually bad. That passes a threshold where now it's better to do it. The Les Mis stuff about, he stole a loaf of bread to feed his family or whatever. It's like, yeah, that's probably okay. So there's like, but even that, right, the threshold there is kind of arbitrary as well. So I mean, because everyone's going to put the threshold at a different level.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. All right, so let me ask you this question then. What do you think is right, male circumcision or female circumcision?
Male circumcision.
Like, do y'all know what female circumcision is, right? The rest of the guys.
Yes. Oh,
Marilyn, do you know what female circumcision is?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you believe that's damage to the woman's body?
Yes, it's wrong to do. You shouldn't be doing that. It's not your
Like-
body.
Like, I just don't understand that shit. Because it's like, if you're going to harm another human being's body like that, why do you believe that's morally correct?
You're really passionate about this female circumcision.
It's part
It
of it is to like
robs the woman of her sense of her sensibility.
Well, so hold on. I think what it comes down to is it's
Who's
it's
talking?
about like sex,
Who's
right?
talking?
It's always about sex with religion. And basically they just don't think that women should enjoy it because it will limit their
wait, before I go, there is different types of female genital mutilation though. Some of it is like clitorectomy, some of it just like trimming a little part of it. So some of it is to remove pleasure, but some of it, I'm not sure if all of it is. So I'm
talking about clitorectomy, where like they remove the clitoris from the female body.
Because they don't want them cheating on them.
That doesn't make sense, though, Marilyn. You know that.
What do you mean it doesn't make
Gotta
sense?
keep them in line.
No, that doesn't make sense at all. Because you're gonna rob a woman of her pleasure because you have some weird fucking insecurity, some weird fucking insecurity that, oh my gosh, she's gonna fucking cheat on me.
well, it
Yeah.
stops them from sinning, right?
So, no, I don't believe that.
I mean, they believe that.
They're fucking wrong. You ever
Well, I
heard of the
agree. That's like, I'm just, I'm
Like-
down. This stems from like this, ideological purity of what it should mean to be that particular group of people, which I'm not.
I mean, yeah, I understand that, but like, like for example, like me and Marilyn may not agree on everything, but I would never wish that upon Marilyn. That's pure and simple.
What are we wishing on Maryland now? I was away. I had to check-
Female
I think-
circumcision.
Oh, yeah.
It's mutilation.
No, I
would-
Mutilation.
like, I would-
I will never wish that upon her. Like never. Like her and I may disagree on things, but like I'll never wish that upon her because that's just wrong. And it
Did
just,
you like
damn.
watch something recently? You're really passionate
no,
about this.
no, it's not that. It's not that I watched it recently. Is that because there's a clear distinction between the two, between the male and female circumcisions.
I
And
think the question is, why is it on your mind all of a sudden? Like,
What are your thoughts?
Really
it just popped up, dude.
You like really get to it. What are your thoughts on people who argue that male circumcision is mutilation?
Well,
That's
the
just-
only reason they will consider male circumcision a mutilation is because of the foreskin protects the head of the penis.
Doesn't it also reduce pleasure?
Yeah, and it's
They're
forced
crowned.
it's forced on you before you're able to consent, right? It's,
Yeah, well,
it's
that's
basically
that's-
removing a part of your body without consent. It's
well, that's
immoral.
too. Yeah, well, that too. But then it's like but we also know that circumcision actually is biblical because the pact between God and Abraham was that God told Abraham.
It's not.
That's
It's
in Genesis,
circumcision
dude,
of
you
the
know
heart.
it. That's in Genesis, and you know
Yeah,
it.
it's more proof
Right,
that the
but
Bible is
it's
degenerate and Satan was right.
It's circumcision.
Oh
of the heart.
God.
Well, hold on. So
we
I
don't
don't
hold
think
the
we.
old
I
covenant.
think that the need to sacrifice that is kind of gone with Jesus, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's gone with in Galatians chapter 5. Of course it is,
Yeah.
because it redacts it in Galatians chapter 5.
Yeah, so there's no need to do it now.
well, there's
Yeah,
some
God
people that
changed
still
his
have to,
mind.
but yeah.
It's a good thing your God isn't consistent.
Ugh. Look, dude.
Anson, you talk so still. Like when you talk, you don't move your head.
It's sometimes you
He
don't
has
know
no
that he's
neck.
talking.
Yeah, dude. I
He
hear
has
his
no
voice and
fucking
I
neck.
look at him. I'm like, is Anson even? How is he
No,
talking right
it's
now?
not
He has
it.
no fucking neck.
Yeah, so like there's still reasons some people do it. I don't know of anyone who wasn't circumcised who chose to go through it
Jesus was
afterwards.
circumcised. Jesus was circumcised.
Well, duh.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
I don't know of anyone who wasn't, then went through it and then complained later
you
that things were
mean
just
as an
arguably
adult,
worse.
that went through the
I don't know
procedure.
anyone who
As an adult that went through the
personally who
procedure,
complains.
right?
So
Is that what you're
to
saying?
what extent it's even true that it changes sensation enough to be a huge problem, I don't know. But
Right now, my dog is looking at me while I'm trying to eat another donut.
Is your dog judging you?
your dog
Yeah.
wants a donut.
Yeah, my dog looking at me like, you motherfucker, give me some.
Give it to me.
I'm about to go.
Good night,
Okay.
Marilyn. I love you.
Night.
Bye. Nobody
we
loves
go
you,
through-
Marilyn.
Are we boring
we
you,
go-
Marilyn?
Did we go through all of them?
No.
No.
Con got lost.
Confluence
Yeah,
got
Con
lost in the
vanished.
toilet.
What
Like
is he?
he's
in
probably in the
his
toilet, like
den?
vomiting or some shit. He probably had like bad
Loaded up
diarrhea.
right
He's probably vomiting or some shit.
Snorting
He's probably
Zen.
getting a Zin and
Snorting.
probably-
something else.
Bless you.
Sorting
He's,
Xanax.
God bless you. He's probably freaking out right now.
Well,
Because
no,
he can
because
hear us.
look, no,
He can
because
hear us.
no, Marilyn. Confluence is rubbing himself with sandpaper right now, a medium grit.
Why would you
He
even
said
say
he
that?
needed a haircut.
No, it's a medium grit sandpaper he uses to rub himself with.
Well, I don't know why you'd even say that. That sounds
Damn you,
horrific.
dog.
Are you hitting a disposable? Anson?
Am I what?
Are you hitting a disposable?
Hitting a disposable what?
Vape?
Vape, Dibby.
No, this isn't disposable. It's one I've had for I don't know, like 6 months. I vape zero nicotine because I quit doing nicotine, and
Wow.
I tapered myself off a milligram at a time with my liquid, so that I didn't
Nice.
feel any withdrawals.
I got back on
Nice.
nicotine after 5 years. You know, I just started chewing and dipping and zenning again. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to smoke heavy, but it's like
How often did you lower it?
Well, I lowered it whenever I felt like I didn't feel any difference, right? So I'd lower it,
Okay.
and then there'd be like a mild, like perceivable discomfort, and then I'd go for a month or whatever, and then I'd lower it again.
Okay.
Christian.
Wait, so
Christian,
is
I
the
have a-
vape non-nicotine, Anson?
Yeah.
I don't know if I missed this.
Yeah, it's non-nicotine and non-flavored because I can't do flavored vape because it messes with my lungs.
Are you gonna just stop vaping at some point then? If it's
I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. I like having things in my mouth. If I had a wife to sit on my face, I think I'd be able to quit.
I mean, you like dick in your mouth, but it's not here. Christian, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When are you going to shave your head?
I've done
Jesus
it a
tells him
couple
to.
times.
Am I going to like tackle you and like fucking hold you down and shave your head for you?
I feel like I
Do
should
you
go,
not?
though.
Do you,
Why do
do
we
you
want to
not-
shave young
Why do
Christian?
you want to shave my
I'm going to
head?
shave your head too.
What did I do?
I think he just
Yeah.
like shaved
When I
heads.
grow up, I
Moxie
want to
Cat, good to
look
see
like
you.
I want to be like Anson.
Yeah, you know. Like, all right. So, Confluence, how was the sandpaper where you were rubbing on yourself with?
It was pretty good. I'm trying to kind of do what Anson was suggesting about tapering. So I'm trying to go down the degree of coarseness to kind of get to a level that's more like,
Yeah.
more enjoyable, I guess, if that makes sense.
What happened to the sunglasses?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I took them off because I had to go outside and it's dark out. Because I had to smoke a cigarette because I'm on my last Zin and it's losing its nicotine potential, and I have a couple of leftover cigarettes. So I've been smoking ages, but
Guys, I'm about to go because my wife's saying it's time for bed, so I have to listen to my wife.
Right, good to see you, Frankie.
All right, so
07s.
07.
See you later, Frankie.
My wife was first. Later, guys.
Oh.
I miss him already.
Okay, so if we're ready for a new prompt, we got a couple doozies. Okay. I gotta wait. You guys keep talking. I gotta delete the ones I've already used so I don't accidentally pull it up again.
I don't think I answered any of these. I don't even think I answered that last one.
I don't know if you did either, but it's the last one was to steel man, the opposite of what you said, but you kind of just said you're God and stuff. So I guess could you steel man that you're not God? Maybe. Well, I pick a new prompt.
No. Why would you do that?
Why would you steel man that you're not?
You gotta make her do it. You gotta make her do it.
I mean,
no.
You gotta make her do it.
It's a good intellectual exercise, Marilyn. What's the best argument that you're not actually God?
That would insinuate that your first explanation of your first answer was wrong to begin with. So
No. I mean, a steel man isn't saying you disagree with it. You're just saying like, what is the best argument I could come up with to say that what I said was wrong? It doesn't mean you're like denying it. It's just like, what's the best argument that you could do? It's a good way to like test your own, ideas and stuff, right? To think like, how would I best present a different argument? So like I could give a steel man for atheism being true, even though I don't think it is, but it's helpful for me to at least understand what the atheists are saying to like give the best possible explanation of it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, just say what your detractors say when they're describing you, Marilyn, and then that's the steel man against your position because you have no shortage of detractors. Well, what would Jim Bob say about you? Just repeat that.
Yeah. And in a good faith way, like try to actually give him like the best thing that Jim Bob has said, in your opinion.
But like I'm God, but like God the Father exists. So
Jim Bob wouldn't say that.
I'm able to communion with God, like, and us not be the same entity. So in retrospect, I already am both. I'm God and I can communion with God. So like you can't pick like a side like that. There is no steel man yet. It's already both sides in and of itself.
But even with just what Anson said, though, even if we go with what Anson said, right? You have a lot of detractors, right? What would like give your articulation? What is the strongest thing or anything that I guess Jim Bob has said if he's saying that you're not God? What would he say?
Okay. He would say, I don't know his whatchamacallit, his cousin's, uncle's, brother's middle name or whatever. I don't know his sister's middle name. And it's like, you can't be God because you don't know everything. You don't know my sister's middle name. But I tell him that you are God also, Jim Bob, and you know the bitch's middle name. So where are we? And guess what? If you told me the cunt's middle name, I'd know it too. And then we'd all be God. Fucking
so it's
weirdo.
It's unfalsifiable is probably the absolute best contention against your beliefs.
What do you? I mean, sure, whatever.
It's not possible to prove false what you believe because you don't make any claims that are provable or disprovable, right?
Yeah, it's the same problem with Christianity, though.
Mm.
Well, you could make claims against what Christianity says happened at some point in time, right?
Or he says, I can't make matter. You can't create matter. Jim Bob would say, you can't create matter. Like, you cannot make matter into existence. And it's like, first of all, we already are matter. Like, we already are matter. Matter already exists. I don't need to make matter. And I've made a son. I've made a son so that
But
he matters. We all
you do
matter.
convert
Everything
matter,
matters.
right? You do
It
convert matter into
matters.
energy.
It's all,
I
yes,
convert
it's
matter all the
everywhere.
time. Doing it right
Fucking
now.
everywhere.
Actually, I'm
And I
wondering,
wish
do we
I
ever do
would've
the reverse?
done
Yeah, we
that
do.
with
We
him.
store
Mic check, you guys hear
energy
me?
as fat.
We
Yeah.
can hear you,
Mhm.
Lutch. Good to see you. How's it
Mhm.
going?
It's all right. I'm actually streaming.
Hey!
Hello. I'm actually streaming through OBS. I figured it out.
Oh,
Jesus!
nice.
Jesus has entered the building.
hmm
What is that? What is
Jesus
that?
has entered the building.
Okay, Lutch,
No.
actually, since you're here, can I hit you with the questions we just answered?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I think I deleted them off the ticker, so I'll have to just say them to you
No,
because I had a little banner going. But so, what is your, first of all, just in like 30 seconds, and then I'm going to hit you with a plot twist, okay? You know, just to prepare yourself. But what is your moral framework, right? Like, are you a utilitarian, consequentialist, virtue ethicist? You know, like what kind of best describes your moral framework?
I like to say that I am a utilitarian consequentialist, but with individual liberty as a higher value than utility. So whatever is the best thing with whatever has the best results is what we should do. However, that without impeding on people's individual liberty.
Okay, and now the plot twist is now steel man that you're wrong. What's the
Okay.
best argument that says that, yeah, what you just said is omni-cucked?
So, I mean, the easiest thing is, well, it's not based in God, so it's basically my preferences. But on a more practical aspect, I think you could easily come up with ways where there are conflict between two people, and there is one person's let's say both people want a thing. Person A wants thing A, person B wants, and one of them is better, but it infringes on somebody's rights. I could see that could be a problem, but I don't even know what that would be. So I think
an easy way to say it is like, what if like 8 people just surrounded you, so they were in your way but not infringing upon your right of being there, and then you couldn't get past them without infringing on their right to stay.
Yeah, like if you were some bimbo in an SUV in Minnesota.
Yeah, like that.
Well,
Like
right.
a random example, sure.
Yeah, just
Let's say it was
As
a
a random
Honda
example, you're
Pilot
some
too,
bimbo
just
in an
to
SUV
make
and, like,
some specific.
8 people surround your car. Yeah, you can't go anywhere now.
right.
Now
And so-
you have a right to try and like move and leave, but they have a right to not be moved by you. So
Right. And so in those situations, I think everybody has the individual liberty to do whatever they want to do. But when you're infringing on other people's, then we have to have the secondary conversation of whose utility is I guess more important or something. But again, I don't even really know what situation.
I don't even know if that would necessarily, because you're asking 8 people to do something that one person wants to do.
Right. Yeah. So
Like-
what you have to do is start appealing to hierarchy and power, right? Who has the power to enforce their will on others in the situation?
Well, that's not
and
necessarily
that's why arguments based on like individual liberty are max cucked and never work, because they deny human nature of hierarchy.
I mean, I think they need to overcome the human nature of hierarchy. May be like the single biggest obstacle to morality in of itself, right?
No, not really. Not if your moral framework is in alignment with hierarchy and human nature.
Well, I mean, your moral framework has to account for the weak somehow, right?
What do you mean?
Like a child has no hierarchy, has no strength, no individual ability to inflict their will on someone else. So if adults decide they want to do something to this child, there's nothing that child can do about it.
Yeah, but in nowhere in that does it assume that they're equal to someone else, right? They're obviously inferior in some
Well,
way.
I think you have to presume they're not equal. That's why you need some sort of moral dictum to like.
Yeah, but
stop
like you
somebody
have
from
to
abusing that
attribute the
inequality.
you have to attribute the inferiority to them. Like that woman driving that SUV was obviously mentally handicapped in some way. You know?
Sure. So then whatever happens to her should not have happened to her, right?
Yeah,
Because we're
yeah,
supposed to
whatever.
protect the weak or the mentally handicapped.
Yeah, well, or either that, or she should have been told no by more men in her life, and not
What men?
Yeah,
What men in her
exactly.
life?
Yeah. Like she should have been scolded more and not led to believe that whatever fucking emotional thought she was having in her brain needed to be fucking validated.
I imagine
you
at
guys-
some point it was more panic than validation, but yeah.
You guys heard the girlfriend afterwards be like, why were you using real bullets?
Yeah, that was that.
What?
I lost my shit when I heard that. I was like,
Is that
what
a real?
No
Someone sent me that.
way.
Is that a
she's
real
serious,
video?
Yeah.
That's
For
real.
real?
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
it was
real.
I mean,
video?
I saw it on the
she
news,
was-
so
she was
it can go either way.
so-
Tyler,
she
I
was
think
really
Tyler sent
upset
it, and I was like, that can't be real.
because
real.
she's the
Come
one who
on.
told her girlfriend to go, right?
Yeah, drive, baby,
And
drive.
so she's blaming herself for her girlfriend deciding to
She
listen to
should.
her and go, which isn't unreasonable at all. But she was screaming, "Why'd you guys have real bullets?" Because it would have prevented her from being at fault for anything. Just looking for like an out for your own guilt at some point, right?
Yeah, women would rather go to jail than be accountable for something.
I mean,
I would
Apparently they'd
never
rather
call the
die.
cops for anything. I would never
I
call
think-
the cops for anything ever. I swear to you.
I think most people would rather not
For
be accountable
Yep.
For
and
nothing
not go
ever.
to jail than go to jail.
Yeah, women-
Nothing
women-
ever.
Shooting your child.
I will take a lick. I will take a lick.
There's
before I
very-
call
Would you
the
let
cops.
your? What if it's your child though? Someone
But,
breaks in,
like-
a home invader. You're not calling the cops.
Fuck
What are the cops gonna
no.
do?
She's got a gun, dude. She doesn't do it
No.
herself.
Do you have
Like,
a?
I'm
Do you have a? Do you have a gun,
She's
Marilyn?
got powers. She's got
I'm
powers.
not
Even with-
calling the cops. Someone
even with
else
good
can call the
response time.
cops. I will never call the cops. I will
Why?
never do it.
What?
Absolutely
It's
not.
ridiculous.
I wouldn't say
Absolutely not. They're not
never.
your friend. They're not your friend.
They're
Like,
not meant to be your friend. They're
I
protectors.
they're like my worst fear. Like worse than clowns, worse
it
than any
cops?
fear anyone that could have. You have fear of spiders,
Do you have
fear
bad,
of things like
do you have a bad
I
experience with
have-
the cops, Marilyn?
no,
Sounds like white,
no.
Don't we all?
white women
Like I
issues.
almost feel like I was killed by cops or something in a past lifetime because I am so afraid of cops that it
Were
is
you
not
George
even
Floyd
funny.
in the past life, Marilyn?
I am terrified of them for some reason. So like I would never call them ever.
Is
I know
ICE-
they're not your friend. I
Is
know
ICE
they're
Is ICE cops? Because like I was driving by some people working on a sidewalk that looked Mexican, and I called ICE on them the other
And-
day. Is that like calling?
No.
Is that like calling the cops?
but no, like cops are nice to me. Like they've been friendly cops. Like, but like I've never been to jail. Knock on wood. But like cops, they just something about them.
Marilyn, I think you've just never
They're
been in a
fucking
situation where you actually
evil.
need to call the
Test, test.
cops.
Well,
They're
but
That's
what
what
is
I
that?
think.
evil.
Agree, Alex.
I
They're
don't disagree with
evil.
you, Confluence, but I do share the sentiment that there's not really
Yes.
many situations where the cops
I
will
can hear
help,
you guys.
at least in like a
Never.
life or death situation. In terms of like having a police report for something that was stolen, like that's one thing. But in terms of I'm in trouble right at this moment, so I need the like what situation? And I'm not saying there's none. I'm just asking what
yeah,
situation.
I feel like all the time. I mean, that there's a lot of like home invasions that happen that have been stopped by police, right? Or even like mass pew-pewing, right? That
Well,
I mean, someone is calling the cops. If no one called the
Right.
cops
That's-
on like
right,
in
right.
like
no, but the
even
question,
in bad cases like
I
Uvalde,
think-
well,
where,
you just
where Maryland is coming from,
alive
is saying-
everyone.
where Maryland is coming from, especially if you live somewhere that is armed, is that
The dude
the
flashed
people,
me. I don't know if you did already.
the
Sorry,
the
keep going.
people should be taking care of that. And so, if somebody's breaking into your home, then you handle it. And again,
I
not
mean-
saying you don't call the cops afterwards to make the report. But I think, Marilyn, correct me if I'm wrong, but she's talking about relying on the police in the moment of I'm in danger right now, calling 911, and that will save me.
No, but
Never.
what you
I
should
think-
do
Yeah.
if you have a pew pew right
Exactly.
in America, you should call 911 and then grab your pew pew and then hope you can, because if it's like 3 attackers, like you might as well just place that call and then go into self-defense mode. I don't see why you'd be like, I'm not going to call it, even though like 3 terrible people who want to do me harm are like in my house right now. Like
Yeah.
I
But
don't
to
see
be
a
fair,
reason why you
might be able to
wouldn't.
keep them
So
at
that's
bay,
why I think you
right?
guys are talking past each other, because I think Maryland isn't. I mean, I guess if you would never call them, then hey, that's up to you. But I think
I'm
the
not
sentiment
calling
that is more widely shared is that the cops can't do anything in the moment.
They can't. They don't do anything. They're useless.
But like, okay, Marilyn, let me hit you with a real
Well,
example.
do they do
So one
something
time,
after the fact, Marilyn?
They try to put you in jail is what they do.
That's what they do.
okay, what about this? Okay,
Yeah,
what
they're
about
always
this?
trying to put these white
like
women
this
in
is
jail,
easy.
right?
Disillusioned.
I feel like it's an easy example. Okay, so one time I was sitting in a restaurant and I looked out the window of the restaurant and there was a guy like beating the shit out of a woman. Like he was like hitting her hard
I
and
would
like
never.
throwing her against the
I
car.
would never call the cops. I
And
would
so-
never call the cops.
Was she mouthy?
And
Let her get beat to death. That's okay.
And so
I
yeah,
wouldn't.
so in that case, Marilyn, what would you do in that case? Because like you're
I
not
would
going
not
She let
call
her
the
get beat to death.
cops.
to. So you would just
Hell no.
you
Let
would
her get
let
beat
the
to death.
guy just keep beating the woman.
I might find someone to get
Don't
to
nod,
call the
Anson.
cops for them. Like I might get someone to call the cops for
So
that
you'd-
situation.
So you'd
would
ask
not
someone
be
else
me.
that you just like personally wouldn't do it, but you'd ask so you're like
Hold
caught
on,
by
hold on.
proxy,
Yeah,
basically.
like you
What if
might
because
need to
you
call the
having trouble
cops.
finding someone, or what if everyone around you feels the same way and like, no, I'm not doing it. Like you just let her
So-
get beat to death.
So
I don't know.
this-
I think about beating his ass. Honestly,
This
You think
happened
about
to me.
it, but you wouldn't be able to,
This happened to
Probably
me.
I don't
8
know if
months
he's
ago.
beating her ass. Why couldn't I
Hanson
beat
must-
his ass while he's beating her ass?
So
I
this
don't know.
happened
I
to
don't
me.
Stop
think,
beating
I don't
her ass
think,
if
I
they're
don't
on
think
beating
life
your
works
ass.
that way, Marilyn. With all respect.
So this
Yeah, I
this
don't
happened to me
play
8
those
months
games.
ago. 8 months ago, I was staying in a hotel, and the person next door to me in the hotel was obviously like really giving it to their significant other, right? Like she was being thrown against the wall. I mean, it was really bad. Like my room was my wall was shaking in my hotel room because her body was being used, to be pushed against it, And so what I did was I packed my stuff up and calmly went down to the front desk and I said, "Hey, you might want to call that number because she might not be alive if you don't." I basically made it the front desk's problem because if
Why
I
You
had
left?
call the number.
yeah, and then I left because it's between that woman and the guy that she chose, and like the people who own the
That's the
establishment.
front desk calling you right now. The girl died.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
So,
I
so
just
if she died, you wouldn't feel like any kind of responsibility for it, for like delaying her.
When also
Playing aid.
Anson, I don't know if Anson's here, but Anson said it's between her and him, but then he still did tell the front desk. This sounds like the Maryland thing of like it's just caught by proxy. So it's like you don't want to do it, but you're basically just telling the front desk to call the
You're
cops. Why
absolving
not just
yourself
like
of responsibility. Like,
Right.
I'm gonna try to set up
Because
those.
you know the
This
front
is like
desk
what
is
happened
going
to
to
that
based on
girl
what
that
you
got
said.
stabbed out of her. There was like a woman who got stabbed outside of her apartment building, and the guy who like stabbed her, he ran away because people came to the windows because he thought they were going to call the cops, and they came back like 15 minutes later because nobody called the cops or did anything.
Oh yeah, that was a
And then
terrible.
He finished her off.
Yeah,
And it
that's
was
like
like-
the
it was one
worst
of those things
example
where-
of bystander apathy, where it was like,
Yeah.
20 people saw it and not a single person called.
Like, oh, I have to work the next morning. I can't take the time to file a police report. But
but
and
even
I'm
that, like
in
in my
every one of you
case,
guys should be stabbed just like she was. That was my thought.
in my case with the thing, it's like someone called. This was like a long time ago. Someone called 911, but it's like they asked like, okay, well, who are you? Are you willing to file this? And the person said no, and it's like the cops came and they did stop the interaction. And it's like, and so it's not like just by calling 911, it's not like you have to become involved anyway. It's like the thing, like you could just
You can just leave.
yeah, you could just like because we were in the restaurant, someone used their phone, called, and they said, okay, what's your name? And they said, I don't want to say it, just come down here. And then they hung up, and then the cops came quite quickly. Like average response time is bad. I think IJ was saying this. It is bad, but at least in certain places, if it is like an actual like ongoing emergency, the cops in my experience are actually fast. If you're being robbed, good luck, you'll see the cops in like 10 to 12 business days. But if there's like an assault going on or something, they do.
Well, hold on.
They do generally.
It depends on the
That is
area
my
and it's
necessarily the case. Like sometimes the police officers are really literally right down the street.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's what happened in my case. They were there in like 3 minutes.
Turn around and come and help. But like other times you'll wait too long and then they'll be gone and then someone else will come across the freaking city for it. Like, minutes do matter, especially when you don't have a whole lot of time.
When chat's saying average response time for all of America is 13 minutes. So obviously that's going to be, that's a mean but like, closer to a city or a suburb,
right?
The cop said we'll be there sometime on Thursday between 1 and 5.
Essentially, yeah. But I mean, think about it though. If they average is 13 minutes, that means some are way faster, and some are way, way slower.
Right.
So
I would imagine that like rural areas.
There's places in the country where it's like an hour away from the nearest police precinct. Like,
yeah.
What are you gonna do there?
And there's sometimes where the cops can show up in literally 2 minutes because they're on like some beat, like a couple minutes away. And
wait, going back to what Marilyn, you were saying you'd never call the cops, like, and we were talking about a car accident.
Absolutely not.
So, but I'm in turn, like, let's say somebody hits your car, it's their fault. I'm with you in the sense that the cops cannot physically protect you, but wouldn't you want the police there to have the record that, hey, this person hit me, and now we need to go through their insurance. And
or you just screwed because they're like, well, I don't want to call them.
Call the cops. They'd have to call the cops.
Why would they call the cops on themselves?
I've been in Canada a long time, but in America, I thought you have to call the cops if you're in a car accident.
You do. It is illegal not to call them. Although they will rarely
you don't
press
have
charges
to,
if
but
you don't.
No, there's
But
a
if you try and report it to
threshold.
insurance, they're going to ask for the police, for the police report, and when you don't have one, they're going to deny your claim.
There's a damage threshold. You can report it to your insurance and not call the police, but there's like a damage threshold.
Marilyn, when you say call the cops,
like a ding or a door ding.
Marilyn, do you mean like not because 911 could involve like a lot of like first responders and stuff. If you just like, let's say you're driving past and there's like a car accident, please tell me you would call 911 if you're the first one on the scene. And like, because you can't decide, you can't be like, no cops though, I only want the EMS. Like you're calling the emergency number and they will send who they're going to send. Are you saying you wouldn't never call 911?
Yeah, I'd never call 911.
Wait. Go. Well, let's go back to
the
example.
You could make an example. Horrific car accident.
By her framework, she is God and everyone else is God, so 911 already knows about it. Right? God can take care of God. It's okay.
No.
Other people.
Marilyn, but what you said, the other person, if somebody hit you, the other person would have to call the cops. If I was the person who hit you, and I was like, oh fuck, this is, and it's bad. It's gonna cost money. I'm not going to call the cops because I don't want to pay that money. If you're like, nah, it's cool, then I'm going to be like, all right, let me just slide you $100 or whatever.
$100.
And then you have the burden of fixing your car on your own.
Why would you give her anything? Hold on. If she's like, I'm not calling the cops no matter what, I wouldn't give her anything.
I would not $100, maybe $500 because I had to do that.
Okay, yeah. So let's say no, I'm not giving you any fucking money. Either call the cops or I'm the fuck out of here. So that's a good point. So yeah, let's say no. I'm not calling the cops. Do you want to call the cops, Marilyn? No, you don't want. Okay, then bye. Go fix your car on your own.
Yeah.
I don't.
Hope
I've
your
never
car
had
isn't
to deal with
completely
that
totaled.
situation.
I'll see you later.
I'm more concerned about the
response.
example I asked about if Marilyn came across like what looks to be a possibly like fatal car wreck if she's the first one.
You're trying to like.
And she's not going to call 911 on that.
Yeah, but that's a slightly different situation. So like, there might be a reson why she would say, okay, in that situation, yes, and in this situation, no.
But she still said no, though. She still said no.
In her own self-service, she wouldn't. So she wouldn't for someone else, right?
But is that not a grave moral misdeed?
Well, depends on where you get your morals from. Remember, depends on what your moral is.
Does Marilyn? Do you not think that's a grave moral misdeed to come across someone like dying in a car accident? You're the only one that sees it. and then to not call 911.
Like,
I'd be like,
hold on,
you know,
Confluence. Let me ask you a question. If you were in Nazi Germany, right, and a Jew got into an accident next to you, would you call the Nazi police to come and help them?
yes, I would. Yeah.
Oh, haram!
For real?
Well,
They're not going
all
to
right.
help them.
I mean,
Confluence.
What? No,
They're
okay.
gonna
It
shoot
depends on
them,
the time. Okay.
What?
Well, no,
He
it depends on the time frame
I
of Yahtzee
specifically said
Germany.
Nazi. I
Okay.
specifically said
No,
Does
it
it
Nazi,
depends on
though?
the
okay?
time frame of
Does
Yahtzee
it
Germany.
though?
It does. There's a time where they were rounding them all up. There's a time where they were not rounding them all up. So, you know, if I thought they were gonna like just do more harm, then I'm not gonna call. But does Maryland think that calling 911 on someone who's like bleeding out is gonna do more harm to them? I find that hard to believe.
It's possible.
Yeah,
It's possible.
She
It's
might
not a likely
actually view the
outcome.
police as like essentially the SS, right?
Yeah, but she even said she said that this is kind of like an irrational thing, you know.
I called ICE on
Maybe she-
Indian
maybe
Jesus
she-
because
it's
he
a
was
little
brown.
irrational. It's a little irrational, but I seriously don't trust them at all. Like
You
at
have no
all.
weapons in Maryland.
And
I
that-
agree
hold
with
on,
you
hold on.
100%.
That's fair. I am with you
Maryland-
on a slightly
Maryland.
illogical or irrational way. I don't trust cops. Fair. But we have to acknowledge that if it is irrational, then that means there are certain situations where it's like, okay, I don't like
Hold
this,
on.
but this is the right option.
Hold on, Marilyn. Would you want someone else to call them?
I mean, I'd probably try to talk them into it.
No. But
But
what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, so if you would want someone else to call the cops because you refuse to, then what you're saying is, in this case, the police are better than the alternative, which in that case tells me that you believe that there's something to be called the cops for, right?
No,
But
Alan.
I'm
This
not
should be an
gonna.
exception to your rule, right?
I'm just not going to call the cops. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going
Alan,
to do it.
heard
Like
what you
I've never been in a situation to where I feel the necessity of being the first man on the scene to where I've got to save the day
So
and
Maryland,
Exactly. So
Sometimes you just aren't the first guy on the scene, though. Like you,
Maryland,
I never
Maryland,
felt the necessity to do that, but sometimes you just drive across something where it's like that could happen,
Shit
right?
happens.
Maryland, do you not feel the need to be like the man on the scene because you're a woman and you think it's the man's responsibility?
It's a fair question.
No, that's a serious question.
We
Because
should do the men
You're very
talk.
submissive, and so I'm assuming that what you're coming to is from the perspective of someone who it's not the woman's responsibility to take charge in these situations; it's the man's role.
I
But
mean,
she didn't say she's
maybe
looking for
I
a
don't know.
man.
I just don't like the cops. I do not like cops for any reason. I don't trust them. I don't like anything that they got going on. I think they're the cartel. I think they're literally
Based.
I feel
just
like then you shouldn't want anyone else to call them
a
either.
gang.
I can't imagine why you would be okay enough to like tell someone else to call them, that you wouldn't do it yourself.
It's
power distance.
risky. It's just like going to the hospital. It's taking your chances. It's really
So wait,
taking
you
your
wouldn't go to the
What do you
hospital?
mean going to the hospital is taking your chances?
Based.
I don't think she doesn't believe in medicine. She's God. Remember? Come on, guys, keep
Th-
up.
They're fucking Nazis, bro.
Based.
They're all
Just everyone in the
trying to
hospital.
kill you. They're all trying to kill you.
It's a death cult.
Look, I have a distrust of medical staff too a lot of times, but I mean, there's situations where if I get have a gunshot wound, I'm probably gonna go to the hospital. I'm not gonna try to take it out myself.
It depends on what you were doing that caused you to get that injury.
Well, that's true. That's true. There might be some situations where I seek out some like Better Call Saul style veterinarian, that's gonna do it off the record. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, but Marilyn, do you think it's the power distance issue that you have with authority and hierarchy that's causing you to have this adverse reaction internally, where you have this fear of power and it's causing you to basically submit and say, all right, well, if a man wants to handle it or someone with more power wants to handle it, they can, but it's not my role because it makes me uncomfortable in my relation to these entities with power.
I don't know. I feel like it's very few and far between. Very few and far between. because you don't need the cops for very much at all. And they are
But
trying
the
to
things
get
you
a
need them for, you
paycheck.
need them for.
They're trying to get a paycheck. They're trying to make money off you. They're trying to get you as many charges as they can in order to make more money. They're like, oh, them people
Oh,
right
it's the
there
front desk
calling.
again. Shit.
Do you think cops get paid on commission?
I wouldn't doubt it.
The more
They
crime
are a
breaks out.
I believe
brotherhood.
there's definitely
They have
always
quotas.
yeah. I was gonna say they always say, "Oh, we don't do quotas." They definitely do quotas, but
They have, in my
commission
city,
is-
they definitely have quotas. Yeah,
commissions
commission
are
is wild. Yeah.
that's a little bit out there.
How many arrests did you make, and that's how much money you get paid? How many
I mean,
people of color did you unalive, and that depends on how much money you get on your paycheck.
Sounds
okay?
like we gotta live in the building.
Okay, I feel like it's a good time to move on to the next prompt, which is at the bottom of the screen. So we are going in a clockwise, snake-wise direction. So it's going to be Alex, Anson, Christian, Marilyn, Indian Jesus, Big Soda, the dude. Does sin or morality change over time? So for Christians, we can respond to sin. For the atheists on the panel, like just for example, I mean, then yeah, you could take that as like what moral action is, right? So examples would be things like slavery, schmexuality. I don't know why I wrote it that way. Probably for TOS reasons, I guess. I wrote these last night. Gender roles, whatevs. So does sin change over time? Does certain moral actions become more moral, less moral? What's good? Starting with Alex. Confluence goes last so we can hear everyone else's thoughts and then steal off of them. Alex, your thoughts.
First.
What? I don't know what Alex said, but maybe he's indisposed. Anson might be indisposed too. Was he the one that got the phone call? Possibly. Young Christian, are you there? Is everybody gone? Young Christian?
Oh, wrong one. God damn
Everyone's
I want to do
gone,
that one.
apparently. Okay, Marilyn, do you want to start us off?
Wait, what's the question?
What do you think of
For everyone-
cops? That's the question. What do you think
No,
about
it's not
police?
cops. It's not about cops. It's that for anyone who asked this, I know I've seen these. It's
Do
on the bottom
Black
of the screen.
Lives
It's on the bottom of
matter?
the screen. No, wait,
Oh,
Anson's back.
Lord.
Okay, we'll go to Anson first. Anson, does what is wrong change over time? Example: slavery, sexuality, gender roles, etc. Does what is wrong change just over course of time and cultures?
No.
Okay. I guess young Christian is still not back, probably. Marilyn and Alex, when you get back, just let me know. Marilyn, does what is wrong change over time?
Does what is wrong change over time?
Yeah.
Into something right?
Yeah, or into something neutral, or a neutral thing becoming so. Like maybe back in the day, there was a time to have slavery, for example. Like maybe that was a necessary thing, or maybe right now, if you're like a commie, you think capitalism is right at a time, but we have to like move beyond that. That type of stuff, where it like changes with culture and technology and stuff, where something could go from either neutral to wrong, or wrong to neutral, or right. All kind of permutations of that.
Yes. We're all going in the right direction.
I think what's right and wrong doesn't change, but the options available to us, so meaning what our best choices are, can change as technology and lives and things like that develop.
Okay, Indian Jesus.
Hold on one second. Sorry. Yeah, I would say the. Hold on, sorry. No, it does not change. I think our interpretation and what is accepted as right and wrong changes, but it is objectively like things like for example. So slavery used to not be wrong according to society, but they were just wrong about that.
Sure.
But the question is,
wait,
why
no
is slavery
crosstalk yet. No crosstalk yet. Okay, Big
So
Soda.
no, it was always wrong.
Big Soda, then a dude, and then young Christian, who I think is back now.
I would say morality or the principle doesn't change. I think as time goes on, we find more things are encompassed in these morality that we didn't see before. I think of stuff on the internet and stuff like that. But I would say the the principle of the morality itself never changes.
Okay, the dude.
I personally would call the police if I saw somebody getting robbed.
Holy
Thank you,
shit!
dude.
Really, dude?
Thank you, the dude.
Just shoot them
That's
How could you?
in a video game.
How could
I don't
you?
know. We look at things like child
Complete insanity.
brides and arranged marriages. I think as we evolve spiritually and emotionally, so do Indian Jesus isn't wrong, but he's not right. It's it's our interpretation. I think we're getting closer to the understanding of what is right and what is wrong.
Okay, young Christian, and then Confluence, and then Chaos.
No.
Doesn't change every time. Okay, Confluence. What do you think? Well, I kind of agree with Indian Jesus, but I would also kind of say, I said this yesterday, I think morality is objective, but how it's applied is relativistic. So I think in any given context, you have to kind of be in that place in that time to know what the objective situation is in a relativistic circumstance. So I think there could be times when, you're in a slave society and maybe the best thing to do isn't to release the slave for a bunch of other reasons. Maybe the best thing to do is treat the slave well, and you're in that state and time. I think morality gets more complicated than we think. I think there's always an objective thing, but I think it does kind of depend on the exact situation, which would involve time as well. So anything immediately jump out from what anyone has said?
Yeah, I think some people want to own slaves on this panel.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
I'll take some slaves. We doing slaves? I'll take some slaves. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, some people are naturally subjugated, based on their own decisions. So, I mean, there's natural slavery that I don't think is an affront to nature in any way whatsoever.
But I guess maybe something that jumps out to me with this is if we're going down the slavery path, right? You could ask, I guess, why didn't Jesus say anything against slavery, right? And it's I would just say kind of it wasn't the point of his message, and it was already such a fundamental part of the culture and stuff like that, and and it wasn't exactly like chattel slavery. It was more like bond servants. So, but I would say nowadays, right? I think that we should probably have the perspective that slavery bad.
Why?
Well, Confluence, I kind of challenge you on that. It seems like you kind of altered the idea of how we think about slavery that then took years for us to implement into doing away with our slavery.
So what do you think? What do you think Jesus said that was anti-slave, or that gave us an idea that we shouldn't?
Well, I would say
Treat
that the way
people how you would like to be treated.
I would say that, and I guess how we view other followers. Jesus painted a method of how we were to view other followers of Christ, and it seems like that idea is antithetical to then us owning followers of Christ.
Okay, but you said but then can I enslave Indian Jesus because he's an atheist?
Yeah.
So can I enslave him?
Well, that's what
He's
I'm
not a follower
saying.
of Christ.
Come and get
It
me,
seems like he
bitch.
planted seeds that eventually led to the realization of owning slaves is not correct.
I don't see how that follows. You said
why
Jesus
not
taught us
just
how
say
we
it
should
then?
teach Christ followers.
Yeah.
But if how does that then punt outside of a Christ follower? Why
Because
can't we?
how are we to treat people who are not followers of Christ?
Well,
they were better than us. Duh.
Well, I
Does
wouldn't say
Jesus say
better
this?
than us. I think Jesus paints the
don't know.
idea
I'm just
loving
giving
people
shit.
who aren't believers. And I think this combination of different messages that he put ultimately led us down the path to saying that slavery is wrong.
Well, yeah, but I don't see how slavery automatically indicates that you're mistreating someone. That's the part that I don't understand.
Well, I think in a couple of senses, you're taking away specific agencies that may be key to them becoming followers of Christ.
Yeah, but you're relieving them of the obligation of having to make decisions for themselves. Perhaps they're the kind of person who needs that kind of stewardship because they lack the ability to, control themselves and make good decisions. So it's actually a kindness that you're doing by controlling.
Are you the one that
Sure.
decides though? What? If
Well,
somebody
yeah.
needs
Why
that,
wouldn't I be able to make that decision?
why
But what
would
if
you
they-
be
what if they
able
want
to?
be?
Isn't
What
that
if they
just
wanna
a
be?
violation of agency?
Well, it depends on my judgment of whether or not they're able to make proper decisions. I mean, some people are really dumb. I mean, they need to be controlled. That's how our society is
Don't talk
structured
about me
that
like
way,
that.
where we have an underclass that's controlled.
Controlled or
not
enslaved?
Well, same thing. We're essentially tax cattle. We pay more taxes than serfs used to. From my perspective,
The
there's
serf's
a
not a
large
slave,
slave
though.
class in the United States right now, and
Yeah,
you
but
can't
we're
escape
using
or you go to jail.
slave
By any
in like an
definition-
analogous way,
No,
right?
Hold on. Were serfs
I
able to
think
just
that
leave
slaves
and
in the
wanted to?
American South are treated better than a lot of people in the United States are treated today that are considered free.
I don't know how true that is.
On average, some of them. How you need to clarify a little bit of
Well,
how
they were
deep that
treated
rabbit
with
hole
more
goes.
decency and kindness. I think they were treated like humans. They had more free time to themselves than today's basically the corporate class gives us today. I think that they had more freedom to practice their religion, and
You mean like
that was the natural seasons of life where they basically weren't worked to death. They had more time to themselves. To be honest with you,
I mean,
and a lot of those
were definitely
were
working.
rounded up from a third world country and basically like we're Bronze Age savages that were brought over here, and we trained them how to be civilized humans. Like from my perspective, we can
I gotta hit you with
right now.
I gotta hit you with one of those.
Maryland called the cops on that comment.
Yeah.
We know how Maryland loves those cops.
I know. I understand,
Oh my
Anson, that
God.
you're from the South, but I mean, slavery was pretty brutal, right? Slavery was pretty brutal. Like maybe if your argument is that maybe there could be some people that were enslaved that are treated better than some people now, then sure.
My
But like
phone
if
is
we're talking
dying. I'll be
averages
back.
or majorities or anything like that,
I'll
I
be
think
back.
that's all right.
I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back.
I don't know. I'm just a fan of hierarchies, and I think that there is a natural class of humans that have historically and will continue to be slaves.
Right, but do you think that's a good thing?
Well, yeah, I
better
think what's
than
natural is
any
good.
alternative.
I think that we ought to orient our lives towards our nature instead of fighting who we are.
What?
Yeah, I guess
So
I
you're
just
talking
I think
about,
I disagree with that.
willing servitude, or are you talking about like?
Well, no, of course you. I mean, but you don't have to be willing. You can just be so dumb you don't know the difference, like most people are today.
Oh, you're saying most people already are slaves. They're not really aware of it because
yeah, they're
See, but then there's like semantic overload to say like someone is like a slave now because of capitalism and stuff. That's different than like someone being like enforced servitude.
I did not blame. I'm not some socialist. Don't put socialist words in my mouth.
I'm not putting saying no, but you're saying you talked about the corporate class, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, the corporate class is
he's not saying
in
it's
bed with the
wrong,
government.
I don't think.
It's not capitalist in the
Some people might call that the bourgeoisie, though. If you
Capitalism
think about it.
requires free competition. What we have now is incestuous government cooperation with a protected group of political people.
But
right?
Anson,
That's not capitalism.
Anson, you just be clear. You're not saying like are you saying you're not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, right? Or are you
I'm saying it's what is. I'm saying that it's like saying slavery is bad.
You're
is like
descriptive,
saying
not
feet are bad.
prescriptive.
Wait, say that again. Saying slavery is bad is like what? Is like
Saying
what?
feet are bad. Like it's like denying the nature of humans.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Well, it's let's say humans exist in a hierarchy, and there is throughout
Darwin's
history,
hierarchy.
Today
Looks
there
like
is
the
a class of
lobster.
humans who don't reach the age of mental majority but become adults, and those people are natural slaves and are ruled over in every like meaningful way by a hierarchy of people that are above them, and they are natural slaves.
But not you say in every meaningful way, but no, like even if you're like some retarded like wage slave, let's say, you still have a lot of free time, you still have a lot of agency, you can still choose if you want to have kids. Back in the day, if we're talking like chattel slavery, you often couldn't make a lot of those decisions, right? Like that, so that has to be you can at least choose, even if you're a wage slave, you can still at least choose to go live under a bridge. You can choose to do all that, and like who's going to stop you?
There were like forced breeding programs towards the end of American
Right,
slavery,
but I think the important aspect is the question of like, okay, if some people are making choices that are enslaving them, then it raises the question if if they understood that they were being enslaved. So like if we talk about let's go back to Renee Good. She thought that she was, free and all this, but clearly
Renee
she was a
Good?
slave to the bitch that died.
The woman who got shot.
She was clearly a slave
who?
to her ideology.
The
And
woman who
the
died.
question has to be asked, do we think that if
The
Renee
ice
Good
agent shot
knew,
someone, right?
can I finish a fucking sentence, please? If Renee Good
Sure.
knew that she was a slave to her ideology, would she want to wanted to have changed? You're shaking your head. How do you know that?
Do you think she would have been capable of understanding?
That's a totally fair but very different question.
Who's Renee Good?
Renee Good is the ditch licker that got shot in Minnesota.
Who got shot in Minnesota? I didn't hear anything about this.
He's the ditch licker in the SUV.
Am I living under a rock?
The person who
If you're
tried to run
serious,
down
then
an
yeah.
ice agent like
I
a
don't
week
think
ago.
the dude is serious. I don't think he's serious.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So again, the question is, do we legitimately think that if Renee Good could see her life and from, let's say, even before she got shot, that morning before she goes out, if she could see her life from the perspective that we see her ideology, and she's like, oh, fuck. Are you saying that she would have chosen to remain in that mindset?
No, of course not. And no slave
All right.
No slave has ever chosen to remain enslaved because
Right,
you always have agency over yourself. That's why I call them natural slaves.
I mean, some slaves probably have chosen to remain slaves.
Yeah, all
before
slaves
started
have a
alternative.
choice.
How do all slaves? I don't know what you
I
mean
don't
by
know.
that.
You
I
don't
think I
you don't
agree
have
with that.
control over your body. Every human has that agency.
Right, but if you're being
know.
like
What does that have to do with anything?
hurt
You're-
or
if
like
you're
your
arguing
family's
with
being
me,
hurt and you
you're-
have to do something, then it's like
Indian Jesus, your hypothetical assumed that if she was no longer mentally enslaved, would she choose to be enslaved? Of course not.
Right.
She would not
Right.
choose that. Just like any
Okay.
other slave, if they wanted to be free, they would take actions to free themselves. There are plenty of
No,
examples
that's
in
no,
history
no.
of uprisings
No.
of slaves who were
Okay, fair.
suffering physical slavery.
Okay, so
You're
fair.
talking
So
about
then why not-
removing the mental slavery change.
But that's
Did someone
that's
just
exactly
quote
what I'm
Bob
saying.
Marley?
The mental slavery thing is a categorically different thing than actually being owned by another person. It's a useful metaphor, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah,
And so
I
when
don't
you
know.
try to
I think
conflate
it's-
them and people are slaves today because they believe stupid shit.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing.
Oh, I think it's worse actually. Yeah.
Okay, fine, but it's still a different
Yeah.
thing.
No, yeah, but it's
A shoehorn is not an
it's the same
instrument.
in every meaningful way because you choose to be that.
But it's
You-
not,
You
though.
make the choice, right?
You don't make the
There's
choice.
no-
That's what
you are a
indoctrination
natural
means.
slave.
That's exactly what indoctrination means. That you're not making a choice. That
You
you're
are
brainwashed.
making a choice. You're
So you
making
do-
a choice
okay,
to
so
remain
you-
ignorant or remain subjugated. That's
Okay,
that's
so-
the decision all slaves make.
yeah, rage
Okay,
page.
wait,
This
wait.
kind of sounds like what Kanye said. To be honest,
So are you claiming? Are you claiming that the people who are indoctrinated choose to be indoctrinated?
Yes.
Okay, that's that. Oh, let's go. Let's stretch it to brainwashed. If somebody brainwashes you, the only way that can happen is if you choose to be brainwashed.
Yeah.
Stupid.
That's retarded. That's fucking
That
retarded.
I don't really
That's
get that.
retarded with a hard R.
Exactly. There you go.
It's
No,
pretty-
yeah,
Put
not-
that
I
Confluence.
don't know if I'm
Hold on, ready?
misunderstanding what you're saying.
That is
Anson. Like, you
certified
can't-
retarded with a hard R.
Like, you
saying-
even
I'm
kind of
saying-
said that people like lack agency, right? You kind of I thought you already said that before, that like certain people might be like too handicapped, or you said low functioning autistic people. So then if you take someone like that and they're brainwashed, then did they choose that? Like you already said before,
Yeah,
that
well,
even
I'm not
without the
talking about
brainwashing, some
agency.
people have
I'm
a
not
lack
talking
of
about people with
agency.
agency. I'm talking
Confluence
about
gets me,
normal people.
man.
I'm not talking about people. I'm not talking about people without agency. Though I'm not talking. We're talking about humans, right? We're not talking about subhumans.
So do you say autistic people aren't
Okay,
human?
yeah, okay. Okay. I feel like that's DOS.
Yeah,
In fact,
right?
I know it
Hey,
is. Let's not
Jesus.
say that.
My aunt is Downey. All right, so
Yeah, no, I'm afraid to ask because we definitely can't say what Anson just said. But if that's where
Your
he's
aunt
going,
is
then-
a top tier paper towel.
I think we're now in the point of just trying to dig our heels in. It is very
Or is that
obvious the
fabric softener,
nation of
Downy? Yeah,
brainwashing.
Downey's fabric. That's our new word for Downey's is fabric softener.
Fabric. She's got that fabric is soft, boy. No, nobody. I thought that was funny.
I appreciate the brain is soft.
Confluence is getting a new
I'm gonna
prompt
assume Anthony's
to avoid
mostly trolling.
possible TOS stuff. Okay, you know what? Does experiencing guilt mean we have sinned or done something bad? Or is there times where we experience guilt and we just like shouldn't feel that guilt? So I guess to tie it into what we were talking about earlier, you could make maybe a mistake when we're talking about intent versus outcome.
What
I would
about
say you could
survivor's
maybe do
guilt?
an
That's a
intent.
dumb question. Survivor's guilt in and of it, like
So
that's
you
an
can
easy
say
answer.
that when it comes to you, the dude, you could absolutely say that because that's a good point. But we go
this is just
clockwise
such
and
low-hanging
snake-wise.
fruit.
Okay, you could sound off. Okay, you can sound off. Okay,
Dude, I
but
came
we're
here because you
starting
guys have a smart channel. When I actually make valid points, that's really not good for your.
Do you understand? There's like you understand that we have order. We live in a hierarchy, if you will, the dude. Okay, and
You
right now
called
you're
me
on
an
the
agent of
bottom
chaos the other
hierarchy.
day.
No,
You
actually,
can't-
I am at the bottom because I go last.
You
So,
can't. You can't label me chaos and then be upset when I do chaotic things.
I don't. What I labeled you chaos because you do chaotic things. I didn't. It's not the label that caused you to do chaotic things. There's a reason I gave you that label. If you think about
It's
it.
true.
Anyway, Alex,
I need a cop who hasn't gotten a commission check in 3
You
weeks.
think it's a bad question, but there's like ways to like go deep into this that like you're just not thinking about that you could like
Yeah,
get
some of us are willing-
some fruit out of this.
Some of
Right?
us
So
are-
if you just
are willing
answer
to
with a
engage.
yes or no, I agree.
Go deep in
But
the
yeah.
fruit.
Some of us are the fruit.
Okay, we'll start with Alex. Okay, Alex, what are your thoughts on this?
I think guilt is guilt can be an indicator that at least a part of you believes you could have done something differently. I don't think it's necessarily telling you you've done something wrong. Yeah, I guess it just depends on where it's coming from. But no, I don't think it's necessarily a question of morality, or like whether you were immoral in some action, so much as just whether you feel like you could have changed something if you had known something different, or
Yeah. Okay, answer.
Guilt is a data point. If you go around making decisions based on emotions, like people who do related to this question, where you think that guilt means something, therefore you must do certain things, you don't have agency and you are a natural slave.
Okay.
Back to slavery.
Back to the slavery. Okay, young Christian. Young Christian, I don't know if you know you're muted or if you're not talking. I'm not sure, but
I wasn't. I didn't know. I didn't realize I was muted.
oh, okay.
Speaking as a Christian, talking about sin, if another Christian feels guilt, even though it isn't a sin, you just abstain from it, but it wouldn't be a sin.
Okay. Lutch.
No, obviously, guilt is an emotion, and I mean, just the notion of white guilt, I think, shows very clearly that you can be guilty about something that you have no business being guilty about.
What about unexceptional white guilt? Okay, I'm just kidding. Big Soda.
My privilege,
Know what
my
that means?
choice.
that is
The
a
thing on
moral
the channel
flaw.
now.
That
It
is.
just is.
Young Christian and unexceptional white. You're welcome.
Okay, big Soda.
I would say you can feel levels of guilt that don't correspond with, I guess, sinful behavior. I guess an example would be if I were to give someone math advice and I understood something to be right, but it turns out it's wrong. I mean, I would feel some type of guilt for leading them to a, I guess, reaction that didn't benefit them.
Okay. The dude.
Well, like I said before, survivor's guilt right there pokes a hole in the question.
True.
Yeah.
You have failed.
Yeah, I would say I think it's
Can
I don't
I
think it
elaborate?
necessarily I
we
thought
have,
you were
we have,
done.
no, we have order here. I'd appreciate my agency to be respected.
It's true. 5-second pause usually indicates you're done, but no, sound
No,
off.
it means a deliberate search for thought as opposed to just random fodder for the airwaves, sir.
No, I really had to think.
Random
a lot.
fodder
I'm
is
glad-
better than
I'm
dead
glad
air.
You gave me time to think about Survivor's Guild, the thing you already said. I really did need time to process that. So go on now, though.
I genuinely believe that guilt is it's an alarm mechanism for us to question our morality. You know, it's a physical symptom of some sort of spiritual or emotional distress, and it's meant to be explored. So no, you can have guilt for things that aren't your fault, and you can have guilt for things that are. Like, the answer is yes and no. Guilt should always accompany sin, but it won't always be accompanied by sin. Sometimes it might just be guilt for, again, like I had said, if you were on Malaysian Airlines and everybody died except you, or, you know, if you get pulled out of a burning building and you wake from consciousness and nobody else survived, or if you had 3 siblings that got molested and can you say molested?
Yeah, I already did.
I think so.
Yeah,
but try to say it not often.
Molested.
Yeah, chestered. So that's kind of my. What is it? It's like so every sin should be accompanied by guilt, but guilt is not only driven by sin. That's my answer.
Okay, and I really like what the dude said. I think I agree with that. I think it's kind of twofold for me, because on one hand, yes, I think guilt is a data point. I'm going off of, I think, what Alex and Anson and maybe other people said. I think it's always something that you should look back and think why you feel that way, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have sinned. But then, kind of almost what young Christian was talking about, there is Bible verses that I agree with that talk about that if your heart convicts you of something, then you have done something wrong. And now it depends on, like, sometimes I think you can be wrong about that, but I think there are actions that, even if they're not objectively wrong, if you're taking them and you think they're wrong, they would harm your virtue. So this kind of punts into, I guess, Anson with his virtue ethics. I think even if something, there's no objective reason to think why it's wrong, if it is still harming your virtue, then you're harming yourself, and that becomes wrong, in my opinion. So now,
So you're
now we're
wrong by
open.
being wrong about being wrong.
Kind of.
You could.
But
So
and that
what-
still is a type of wrongness.
So, shout out to King from my chat. And I know some say you go to hell over things your heart believes you did wrong. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know about.
I think he watches Lucifer too much.
Where do you find that in scripture?
I don't know about I don't know about the going to hell thing.
Well,
but I do.
it is there, right? The gates of hell are not locked or something. Right? There's indications.
No, it's locked from the inside.
That's also not
which is where you would be.
That's
not a Bible quote, to be clear, though.
Yeah, that's not a Bible quote.
Oh,
right. It's a quote I agree with, but it's not.
It's a quote from Sesame Street.
It is, yeah. The early seasons where they became woke.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what does guilt feel like?
I'm not sure. I've never felt it myself, but you can.
Real quick, King said Lucifer is what I had in mind. So, good call. Good call. Sorry.
Can I tackle the question when he said, "What does guilt feel like?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Have you ever taken too much change from a place and not given it back?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Do you not have some sort of
taken it. They've given it to me, and I've not said anything.
Right. Do you feel guilt about that?
Nope.
Well, usually when that happens, it's because I didn't notice it until
I was
later.
going to say I never count my change, so I'm sure.
No, I'm saying dude, they gave me. I pulled out money for a car, and they gave me like $1,600 too much. I'm in the car and I'm counting it. I was punching the fucking steering wheel, like, God damn it! And I had to go back. That's
yeah. I mean, that amount of money. I mean, I think the amount does like it. This is where the aspect of like what is right and wrong versus how does that play out practically in our lives. Whether it's a penny or it's $1,000, it's wrong, right? But they give you an extra penny, probably not going to care as much as if they give you an extra $1,000. So I think
the amount, and I would say it's the inconvenience, because I've gotten the wrong amount of change, and I'm immediately outside the store. I'm like, okay, I go back. But if I'm like already home and they've given me $5, I'm not fucking going back to the store. I'm like, look, you fucked up. Same thing at a grocery store. Sometimes they don't scan something, and it's like I immediately notice, but I'm not going to come back later if they didn't scan a $10 item.
That's your fault. Give it back to them like the next time you go.
I don't.
I'm
At a
saying if you
certain
go out your
point,
way,
if it's
but-
Well, and I was
if
gonna
it's a
say-
low enough number and it's inconvenient
Well, I
enough,
was
I'm
gonna
not going to
say-
remember to like keep the item and then you know what I mean.
Yeah, fuck that. But I think it's different if we're talking about like even if we keep it in talking about retail, like the difference between if a Walmart cashier gives you an extra $1 versus the mom and pop shop that you know the owner, you go there all the time, and it's slightly different levels of guilt, even though all of it is wrong.
Well, he was just asking what guilt feels like. I'm
Yeah.
assuming he's autistic.
No, I'm not autistic. So I was just curious, like, so just being honest
Some people
in
don't
your
feel guilt.
transactions, like, I don't understand how that is a feeling of guilt.
No, I think I think he was saying that like
The
in
feeling
the
of guilt
if
happens
you
when you're
kept the
not honest
money,
about your transactions.
then it's like something is like eating away at you that you're like, oh, I probably shouldn't have kept the money.
So
like
it's
when
an
he's talking about
internal-
punching his steering wheel, right? It's like because one side you want to keep the money, the other side you don't, and if it's presumably it's the guilt or the impulse to like fix a moral wrong or something.
So you feel something inside of you that makes you want to not do the wrong thing?
Correct.
Yes,
Yeah,
What makes you want to do the right thing?
regret if you can't take the decision back. Yeah, a feeling of regret, I guess, that like,
Anthony, why
okay,
are
I
you
did this and I
speaking
can't
about
take it
guilt
back,
like
and I feel
you're
bad.
alien to it.
He doesn't.
Well, I don't know.
Alex said
I don't
the
think I've
same
ever
thing. Alex
felt
said he's
guilt.
never felt guilt either. So on both of them,
I
I'm
don't
curious.
believe it.
I'm like in the 5th percentile in conscientiousness. I'm somewhat psychopathic, and so
You mean the
like
lower
I don't
5th
know
percentile?
what.
The lower 5th percentile?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay, just want to make sure.
yeah. So I don't know. Like I'm aware that I'm impaired in some ways, and I was just curious when people talk about guilt because I don't know exactly like how to relate to it.
If you saw a little kid getting taken into a van and you did nothing, that wouldn't scratch the back of your brain for the rest of your life.
No.
No.
Then you need to not be in public.
Yeah, Alex, I'm unsurprised that Anson is saying this because Anson kind of says some wild
No,
stuff. But
I'm screwing around.
okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to know.
I'm
See,
sure
it's
I've
hard to
done
know when you
something I
follow
should feel guilty
Anson. It's
about,
hard
but
to
I don't know
know.
what that is. My mind erases all guilt from my history.
Oh, wait, so you kind of are speaking truthfully then, like if unless you're joking right now, but
I don't know. Am I joking right now?
I felt fear of
you tell
other
me.
people realizing that I'm not like them, and that kind of felt like shame or guilt. Like,
Okay, Dexter.
yeah. Why? I've never seen that show. What is it?
Did you feel like it was? Hold on. So when you feel guilt, it's usually just like this feeling of you feel like something is just wrong with you. You feel like
No.
there's like this pit in your stomach.
It's like
That's typically what
posthumous
people-
anxiety.
Yeah, it's more
Yeah,
like
it's-
anxiety. I like that.
First of all, Anson, how can you answer any of these questions if you've never felt guilty? You can't even imagine what it feels like to
Well,
feel
like-
guilt.
like-
Then how can you say, "Oh, it is kind of
like,
like
so-
that"? You
so
have no
I know
idea,
that-
apparently.
I know. Well, see, I've talked to a therapist about this before, right? Specifically,
Oh,
like
sure.
like I remember the first time I masturbated, I was like I was afraid that other people would know that I had done it, not that I had felt guilty about
Marilyn
it.
is gone, so she
You
probably
did it in
did
front of
know.
a store window. That's what made it weird.
Like it was more like, hey, people are gonna find out I did this. I need to make sure that people don't know that I did it. Like that I don't think that's guilt though.
That's
Okay,
shame.
then what is
No,
it? What is it?
that's-
What is it then?
That's shame.
Yeah,
Right, because he
that's a
didn't
shame.
feel bad about
Guilt-
jerking his
guilt is
gherkin. He just
guilt is
doesn't want people to
internal.
know about it.
Guilt is
Or
an internal
embarrassment,
feeling.
maybe.
Shame is external. He's feeling it from an external motivator, which would make it shame. Guilt would be that internal, that intrinsic sentiment.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I want to know, Alex, does your mind actually erase all guilt? That's what I want to know. Is that a serious thing or an unserious thing?
No, it's obviously not a serious thing. That's just ludicrous. But I do tend to get over guilt pretty quickly. Just because I don't see any value in holding on to it. It's like I said, it's there to teach you that something is wrong, or that you've done something wrong, or that you missed something you shouldn't have. But once you figure that out, you can just stop feeling guilty.
Right. If you can't correct the action and you've already kind of learned a lesson, then at a certain point, yeah, it's probably not a healthy thing to feel anymore, I would think. But then what do we think about, okay, so what Rage Page said here, have you oh wait, go ahead, Alex.
I said, yeah, you just stop feeling it.
I don't know if the thing is, I don't know if you can necessarily choose. This is kind of what I guess the dude was saying with survivor's guilt. You might feel guilt. And I mean, people go to therapy over that stuff, right? They know that they shouldn't feel guilt, but they still feel it. So it's not, shout out baby Alex, but it's not exactly something that you can necessarily choose, I guess, to stop
I've
feeling.
I've never felt the type of guilt that I couldn't just stop feeling it.
Oh, okay.
So how do we put the rat?
So it either means you've lived a really good
I feel like
life,
that's a good
or
point
you're very
that maybe
disconnected.
Alex said.
I don't think I have an answer to baby Alex's question.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What was how do we fix hold on.
But what Rage Page, have you unintentionally hurt someone real bad who did not deserve it? Because if you unintentionally hurt somebody, in some ways, I think you should feel guilt. Like, it would be weird if somebody like accidentally like ran over me with their car, and let's say it was a full accident, and they're like, "Well, I don't feel bad about that. I mean, I didn't intentionally do it." I'd be kind of like lying on the pavement as Marilyn's not calling 911 for me. I'd be like, "What the fuck? Like, you should feel a little bit bad. You just hit me with your car." Like, even if it's not, there is almost like a moral duty to feel wrong, even if you don't mean it. But I don't know if I can explain that. I just feel like there kind of is. It would feel really callous if you unintentionally hurt somebody, and then you're just like, you know what? Why would I feel bad about that? Who gives a shit? I couldn't have done anything different.
Yeah, it's more about like letting other people not know that you did that thing to protect your social status, right?
No, I
think
don't.
that's just covering. It's just
so. Yeah, I think that's a different thing that happens, but I don't know if it's the same.
Oh.
I mean, what do you guys think about what I said? Like, if the car example, you know?
Yeah, I think that's insane. If you accidentally hit somebody and you feel no negative feelings about that, even though you didn't mean to, that's insane.
Are we just going to bypass the fact that the guy self-identified as a psychopath?
Who? What?
I don't know. Did he say I am a psychopath, or did he just say I'm kind of
He said he's
psychopath?
low in conscientiousness.
He says that he has levels of psychopathy, which it's a spectrum.
He's flirting with it. It's not a big deal. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pro-social. Don't worry, I'm not one of the bad ones.
He's one of the good psychopaths.
Oh, say
that is what a psychopath might say to deceive people.
He doesn't feel the incessant need to murder. No, psychopaths would just wouldn't.
Why do you look like you're trying to recreate a Steve Jobs picture?
You know, he was a great man. Steve Jobs was a great man.
Because he is Steve Jobs.
Do you see what I mean? Like with the black and white
Steve Jobs
photo.
never died. Okay, that's my theory, and now it's Anson.
It could just be the dark room.
Have any of you ever hit someone with a car?
No.
Like a pedestrian?
I've hit something with a car, but not a person that matters.
None of y'all
I
have?
hit something that survived and destroyed half my car, but yeah, no, not me.
Yeah,
like an animal.
I heard a guy really bad in the gym about 15, 20 years ago during sparring, and like there were severe medical. It was a freak accident. I mean, it wasn't a car, but you know, that was. I still carry that with me to this day.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Because it altered the course of somebody else's life, and I was a key player in it. Whether or not it was on purpose or not, there was a spiritual lesson to be learned. It elevates your conscientiousness of other people, I would hope.
But once the lesson is learned, there's no reason to feel that way anymore.
I think that's a really antisocial. That's the problem with YouTubers in general. And I'm not saying you, just a lot of people. They live in this like the synthetic sphere, the metasphere. If you have like a big life outside of YouTube, there's a different level of connection with humanity.
I don't think Alex is a YouTuber. I mean, Alex has a family and kids.
I'm
and
not a YouTuber.
Well, I just said I'm not talking about him. I said I literally prefaced it by saying I'm not talking about him.
No, I agree. There's people who are like terminally online that just need like
right, and they devalue. So
shut off one way or another. Yeah.
Yeah, we were doing leg locks, and I wound up just turning over a little bit too hard, and like, you know, the guy's ability to walk has been permanently You know, what he wants to run at a family softball game, if he wants to chase his kids, like anything this guy's going to do for the rest of his life. How would I
He also
not?
may have saved his life through some measure. Like maybe he could have walked into traffic one day, but he can't do that.
Are we talking about the wise Asian who owned the farm and the kid found a horse and then got trampled by the horses, and then the army could be a good thing? I'm just saying it was a very painful lesson. There was I wish it didn't happen. That's why guilt is usually associated with remorse. They always say guilt and remorse.
So I don't want to like give you like too much on this, because if it bothers you, but like, did they ever forgive you?
Oh yeah, the guy I've gotten jacked up. I got a guy shot like an outside like put me in a double leg, put me upside down, kind of spiked me on my neck. This is 20 years ago, and I still have issues sneezing and sleeping and turning. It's athletes kind of sign a social contract. It's part of the guy that there was he didn't hold me personally responsible.
Wait, was it the same guy you leg locked that then spiked you on your head?
No,
Okay.
not the same guy.
Be a bit revenge.
I don't understand why you feel guilty at that point. Like, he's good, you're fine, everyone's okay. Just
But I guess
move on.
there is the potential that it may have not have ended up that way, and how close it comes to something simple altering someone else's life for the rest of their life.
And also, isn't there a benefit in thinking about this? Like, the dude probably now, when he is like sparring with somebody, he probably is a lot more aware to to be like ultra careful to not cause any injury. So in some ways, same if you hit somebody in your car and it was a total accident, it's probably there's a pro-social reason, I think, why we hold remorse over that, because probably for the rest of your life when you're driving, you're going to be like ultra aware, because you're like, I'm not going to let that happen again. Like, maybe if I was more conscious, maybe if I was more aware of my surroundings, I wouldn't hit that person. So there is like some benefit to that.
Yeah, that's exactly how it feels too. When I was 17, I ran over a little girl on a bicycle, and that's exactly what happened with me. Afterwards, I felt like much more like a greater sense of urgency to pay attention to my surroundings.
Okay.
Is this a real thing, Anson?
Yeah.
This actually
Why
happens?
wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Because half the stuff Anson says, I'm just not sure. Is she okay? Is she okay?
Yeah. She was my next door neighbor. And it was her fault too, because she was riding this bicycle that didn't have brakes on it, and she was driving down the sidewalk, and the sidewalk was obscured by a large shrubbery. And so she was going full speed down the sidewalk as I was backing out of the driveway. I knocked her clear off her bicycle, and she had to have her front two teeth removed because they were basically screwed up.
Okay, so how did that make you feel?
I was anxious that I would get into trouble.
That's it?
That's based.
Did you feel bad for her at least? Did you feel? Are you capable of feeling like something?
I was worried. I was worried that I would have some sort of legal or financial consequences.
No, but for her, were you worried that she's okay in that moment?
Well, yeah. I mean, if it was really bad, I would have been in a lot of trouble.
That's not what I'm asking.
Who married
That's not
you?
what I'm asking. That's not what I'm asking.
There's no way you're being. Yeah, that's Anson. There's no way.
See, this is why I'm
being-
asking Anson if he's joking, because I feel like there's no way that's the case. So that's why I have to check, because I don't freaking know. Go and
Come on.
pee. I can still hear everyone.
Are we doing this? Or are we joking around?
No, that was I like that. That really happened though. The situation with the girl, the neighbor girl. Yeah, and I don't know, like in the relationship, I had a good relationship with that family, and then afterwards they wouldn't talk to me anymore.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't talk to you.
If you don't look like you feel appropriately guilty for what you did, they're probably not going to forgive you.
Dude, you're a high-functioning sociopath.
What?
What?
He's a functioning sociopath.
Pretty much.
Not all sociopaths are antisocial, though. So, being a sociopath by itself doesn't make someone a bad person. There's a lot of.
I think all sociopaths are.
Probably not caring that you hit a little girl.
They're probably just not like.
Kind of makes you a bad person.
No, I mean they call them benign sociopaths, which means they don't have an inclination to do evil.
But yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he's saying he has an inclination to do evil.
Yeah, I didn't mean to run the girl over. It was an accident.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about psychopathy and sociopathy as an idea. It's less to do about you. I think a lot of people just attach the term psychopathy or sociopathy with
That's fair.
like nefarious
That's why I just distinctly say they're psychopaths if they have like this drive to do evil, and sociopaths if they don't.
Does anyone here know what the dark triad is?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what you mean.
No, I'm asking.
What do you mean by the dark triad?
I was going to ask someone. I was going to ask someone to explain it to me because I've seen the term several times when they talk about like sociopathy and psychopathy and some Machiavellian nihilism. Like, what is the dark triad? I don't. Really
I think
know.
isn't it narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy? I think. So it's just like three maladaptive personality traits.
I don't think they use.
It's not psychopathy.
Machiavellian. I don't think they use that. It's.
I thought that's okay. Now I've got to check.
I mean, you're right in the description, but I think.
Wait, I was exactly right. It's psychopathy, narcissism, and Machiavellianism. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
I get
okay. I was mixing up. Wait, what was the first one? Psychopathy.
Yeah.
I have one more point to my question. Because can someone please tell me the difference between nihilism? I know that means like nothing matters, nothing goes. And what's the difference between nihilism and Machiavellianism?
Because Machiavellianism is like a tendency to like manipulate and stuff,
right.
And like try to
So being a nihilist can go like you could do really bad things because you are a nihilist and you don't think that anything matters. But I had a period where I was a nihilist and it was very freeing. I've moved on to absurdism, but that's a whole other discussion. But just understanding that there is no inherent purpose to the universe or to us being here, and one can find beauty in the fact that we are here despite all of that. Shout out to Albert Camus. And so the different, like the Machiavellianism, at least in this context, I don't know, maybe there's a different context where people use it differently, but this is specifically, manipulating people, vying for power. None of that is inherent in nihilism.
And have you ever heard of the dark empath?
No, I haven't heard of that.
If you actually, that's a really cool. It's not a prompt, but I think
like
it would be
D&D class.
No, actually, this is right up your alley, Confluence, and some of the talking points that you bring up. The dark empath is like the most dangerous personality type on the planet.
It's one of the Jungian based archetypes where you're highly.
His name's not Jung. His name is Jung. That's an umlaut. So
you're highly empathetic and you're introverted, and you eventually get to a breaking point of being manipulated by people where you turn on society and use your highly tuned empathetic abilities to manipulate people better than any narcissist ever could.
Did you just Google that?
No.
Did you ask Jeeves it?
No.
Okay. It sounded like, I think Anson just knew that. But yeah, no, I haven't heard that.
Did you just Google that?
No, I've just heard what Anson said.
Yeah, I just made it all up.
No, that's the dark empath.
To see if it's true.
The dark empath is probably the scariest of the personality types.
Luca?
Huh?
Have you ever met someone that's like really kind and compassionate and knows how to read people, get close to people, but they have a nefarious side?
Yeah, Confluence.
You're a dick.
The thing is, I feel like, how is this different from a lot of like psychopaths? Because like usually, I know these terms get like thrown around a lot, but in general, right, a sociopath is someone who is like on the outskirts of society. I know they've kind of Alex, we've disagreed over this before. This is how the terms used to be used. Okay, now they've all put it all together into ASPD. I understand that, but in a historical context, sociopaths usually live on the outskirts of society, have difficulty.
I can probably answer this with the highest level of authority on the panel. I would really like to answer that. If that's it. May I please answer that?
Go ahead.
Sociopathy means a lack of empathy. Like true empathy is why grandmas, nieces.
That's not. Well, I don't know why you're claiming the highest authority on the panel if you're going to say that. That's not true, dude. That's not true.
Yes, it is.
Most of the time, I don't know of anyone who defines a sociopath as somebody who has exceptional ability for empathy, given that
No,
empathy
the
means you
lack
have
of ability to
I
empathize.
understand. I know. I'm talking to Confluence.
Well, I didn't say
I
that.
agree with
I
you.
said a
You
psychopath is
said-
more likely to be able to manipulate people. A sociopath is more likely to fail at social interactions, have trouble holding down jobs, have trouble maintaining close social interactions. They tend to live on the outskirts of society. You could just all Google this if no one believes me. This
Right.
is
But
how
either way,
sociopath
these
is
are
normally-
very loose. These are a kind of it's not as clear defined. Like there's not a category where I mean, some people clearly are psychopaths. Some people clearly are sociopaths. But it's not like there's an on-off switch.
It's not an all or nothing threshold. That
And
I'm
that's
gonna
why
say
they
a
also
sociopath would
push them
do
all
this,
into
or a psychopath would do
antisocial
that.
personality disorder because that gets overlapped. So that's why we don't use
let
those
me
terms
let me
generally.
finish my one. All I wanted to put on the back end of that was a narcissist typically has superficial charm, which is why, as Anson said, a narcissist never could. A dark empath is like truly like emotionally enlightened, and they turn for it's like a fallen angel or a fallen idol. That's why the narcissist will eventually be sniffed out, especially by an empath. A dark empath will probably not get sniffed out.
Yeah, it's really easy to see narcissists in a room. Like they have a really clear way of doing things.
Ooh,
Yes.
Keelan has a great comment. The Joker is a dark empath. Hell, excellent fucking comment by Keelan.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, very emotional.
Yeah,
guy.
actually, you're right. He is.
That's a fucking really good example, Keelan.
He's base as hell.
I
like
want to
Keelan.
see the real ugliness of human nature.
Wait, would we say the personality type of the Joker wouldn't be easy to sniff out?
Yeah, I would say that'd be pretty easy to.
I think if he was, well, I mean, what in his psychopathic state, but I think if he took off like the clown shit and then acted like a normal person, he could probably pretend to be like a very, very good normal person.
Kind of like the Joaquin version of Joker.
But I don't think the Joaquin version was like psychopathic or sociopathic. I think he was just, kind of down bad.
Who was down bad?
I've never seen the second Joker, I will say that. But in the first one, do we think he was really had any of kind of the dark triad traits? He just seemed to be like indisposed and stuff and like mentally unwell.
Like a retard.
Retard with a hard R.
I don't know if I would have classified
So
him like that, but yeah.
So what's the next prompt?
Okay, well, everyone keep talking while I pick a good one. Okay, I'm trying to think of
I
who's
would
on
like
the
you to.
panel.
I'd like you to Google
List of
sociopathy.
seven.
I would like to see some proof on sociopaths are capable of legitimate empathy.
I'm just saying, sociopathy
I'll do
is
that. Are sociopaths? Oh, sociopaths.
Capable of genuine empathy.
How do you measure?
I'm saying that's not. I'm saying that's not the distinction.
Sociopaths or antisocial personality disorder generally have a severely limited capacity for effective empathy, aka feeling others' emotions and remorse, but may possess cognitive empathy, understanding other people's perspectives intellectually for manipulative purposes, allowing them to mimic emotions or exploit situations without genuine connection or guilt.
And before we move on, can you just Google sociopath versus dark empath? See if AI gives you like a four sentence clarification.
Okay, wait. Before I just want to say, just so we're all aware, what Indy just read, right? When it says sociopathy and then it says the ASPD, that's because the antisocial personality disorder. Now they don't distinguish between a sociopath, right? So we're not getting a specific definition of a sociopath in that definition. We're getting a definition of ASPD, which is
where you act like a sociopath. Right. This is why fucking psychology is bullshit. I have a degree in it. I know it is that much bullshit.
Hold on.
Did you go to Rutgers?
The AI overview of sociopath versus dark empath. A dark empath uses high cognitive empathy, understanding emotions, to manipulate others for self-gain, while a sociopath typically lacks empathy and conscious, acting impulsively and exploitatively with weak emotional ties, often leading to erratic behavior and parasitic relationships, though both are manipulative and harmful. The key difference is that the dark empath knows your feelings and uses that knowledge against you, while the sociopath might not even register your deeper emotional experience, operating from a place of emotional detachment and impulsivity.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
but the
Did
first
you study
definition-
at Rutgers, Lech?
Say again?
Did you study at Rutgers?
I did
Christian, you're
not,
back.
but
Oh.
most of my high school,
Did you
most of
go
my
to
high school
Rutgers?
class did.
Did you go to Rider to study psychology?
Yup.
Did I really call it?
Yep.
Seriously? No shit.
Oh, hey,
Small.
don't, hey, or no, wait, it was
We are moving to a new one.
Rider like a bronc, baby. Rider you. Yep.
Okay, the next.
There's not
prompt.
that many fucking places to go in Jersey. If it's not Rutgers, it's either TC&J or fucking Rider.
Princeton.
Okay, is sin baked into who we are and the universe? Could the world exist without sin? So, for example, just some brief things we could talk about. Just like the evolution, right? Does that already mean that there has to be some type of sin in the world, some type of maladaptive behavior? Can we even conceive of evolution, I guess, happening if we believe in evolution without things that we call sin? Like some of these dark triad traits exist for a reason. Some of them are healthy. And as Jordan Peterson says, if a certain population of people end up too dark triad, then society collapses. But there is arguably some utility in kind of the bad stuff. And then, for Christians, I guess we could ask, is it possible for the universe to exist in its form with all these people without sin entering the world? Is that even conceivably possible? Starting with Alex.
Sorry, say that last part. Could the world exist without sin? I mean, not as it currently is, but I suppose, yeah, technically.
What?
Sorry, say your question again.
Is sin? It's always in the banner at the bottom. So
That's what I was.
But
Yeah, that's what I read.
It's
Yeah,
sin baked into our DNA.
I don't think it's. I think. Well, given the state of the world, yes.
But
if
you're
the world,
saying it could be otherwise.
if the world was different in some way, like some functional way, like let's say we had all of our needs met, there was no need to like do whatever. I imagine there's probably a scenario where we would have no functioning reason to sin, but some people probably still would because you can't make everyone happy.
Okay, Anson.
Well, God created man without sin, and if it were not for the lack of a female to show restraint, we would still be living without sin. And when Jesus comes back and does his second act as the zombie king, all humans will go back to a life without sin, and we will be living in harmony with nature. And the pigs will just walk up and give us bacon off their stomach.
I saw that in The Simpsons. So
I know that's why I
Inshallah.
like that.
That seems interesting.
Lunch.
So I mean, I think obviously as an atheist, I don't think sin exists. So to format it, if we talk about immorality or people doing wrong things, then I would say that is baked into who we are. Otherwise, we would be, a utopian, everybody happy doing the right thing all the time. So the fact that we have quote unquote sin means that it is baked into who we are.
Yeah, good answer. Big Soda.
Hang on, I gotta wait for it to scroll down so I can see the question again.
It said if
Okay,
Marilyn was being robbed, would you call the cops from her phone?
Oh, that actually, it's an ethical doozy.
I would say yes, sin is baked into the universe, and I would say for Jesus to fulfill his prophecy, it would have to be inherent that sin is baked into our reality and our universe.
Original recipe sin. That's sorry.
Go with the OG.
Right, the dude.
Is it baked into our DNA? If we're going to put aside the religious or the philosophical for a moment, the second that we were able to stop being nomadic and sit still, is this a Freudian? Are you guys Freudian followers or no?
I mean,
Freud,
not really.
I'm a fan of Jung, and I will not pronounce him Jung. Okay,
His name is not Jung. His name is Carl Jung. There's an umlaut over the U.
I'm not going to pronounce it Jung. I'm not going to do it.
Well, Carl Jung
Young
actually.
with a J.
It's Jung, Jung. That doesn't make a difference. I'm a big Jung fan.
Maybe there is.
I speak American. It's Young.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I
I'll
think
answer
it's
the question.
Jung.
He's Asian coded now. If you go by like the instinctual drive, like the ego and the superego, like sin kind of changes as I'm kind of going back to my last answer. The idea of what's wrong changes as we evolve. So I don't know if growth was coded, I guess so was sin. It's an odd question. Like self-preservation, that's baked into us. So I guess hypergamy is probably baked into us. If that's a sin, I guess.
Hypergamy's dumb.
Who said that?
Me. Hypergamy's dumb.
Why are you interrupting, Alex? Shut
Yeah,
up.
come on, Alex.
We'll get
Wait,
back to it.
wait.
I do want to put a pin in that because I want to hear the disagreement there.
I want to hear from a male standpoint. You don't think that hypergamy is the...
Well, we'll get there. Just put a pin in it because we got to go Christian, and then otherwise, then people get missed and stuff. So, young Christian.
It's Jung Christian.
That was a good one.
I don't think it's baked into our DNA. I think we're made in the image of God.
All right,
so
back to hypergamy. Back to hypergamy.
Wisdom than God's.
No,
Wait, I haven't said my point. My first point is that Carl Jung does not have an umlaut in his last name. There is no umlaut over the U.
It is Jung.
The second one.
It's German because it's Jung.
Yes.
There's no umlaut.
There is no umlaut. Okay, so
the world exists.
I don't know if the dude's trying to trigger me. Oh, there. Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
If Adam and Eve chose God over their own wisdom, then yeah, I don't see why there couldn't be.
And I guess how I would answer this is, from an evolutionary point of view, from a theistic evolutionary point of view, I think that sin, I don't see how it could not be baked in, because I think things like predation and stuff, which are evident in humans now, I think you had to have predation for like survival of the fittest and sexual selection to happen. You have to have some type of hierarchy. You have to have some type of, the strong dominating over the weak, which I think isn't a good thing for humans to do. But I think sin is the vehicle that God chose to create the universe, or to create humans. I think.
Can you just go
God
to Google
used the
AI
sin
and ask it how to pronounce Jung? And in Germanic, it did have an umlaut.
It doesn't have an umlaut. Carl Jung was Swiss German. He didn't spell his name with an umlaut. Okay, he did.
Go Google AI it.
Really?
I want to fact check you.
Okay, that's fine.
Carl Jung pronunciation. If I'm wrong, my whole life's been a lie, and I'm going to have a
pronunciation, or if it has an umlaut.
Carl Jung. Carl Jung is with no umlaut. Umlaut is pronounced Carl Jung, spelled Kaarlyong, with the J sounding like a Y and the U having a soft oo sound, as in book, or the German word for young, which is the same word, not Carl Jung, but Carl Jung.
So Young?
So it's young and American.
Jung.
The point is, it doesn't have an umlaut. Okay, that's what I'm sticking.
It's a umlaut.
Yeah. Can we officially change his name to it's Jung Christian for the rest of the panel? We're all in agreement there.
Jung Christian.
Jung.
Okay, so the hypergamy. That's where we wanted to start off. So I guess
and give it to Alex first. I want, because I don't think he was attacking me, but he seems to have a.
You know.
I agree with you. I think hypergamy is dumb, but why do you? Who did we just lose?
Anson. He said in the back chat he has to go to bed. So catch you later, Anson.
Why do you think it's dumb, Alex?
So I think it's people are trying to use like what they consider to be natural, like some sort of like biological imperative to describe how people function in terms of like their brains and what they actually choose. And the fact is, most people aren't like predicting their future with any real degree of certainty. They're not really choosing the best options for themselves. So this idea that like a woman would drop you for some guy who's a billionaire just because he is, sure, there's some women who would do that, but it's not because of hypergamy.
I would drop my wife for a guy that's a billionaire.
Well, that's a personal failing. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
But some things that are better, and you would think that people would do, they don't actually do. And
Yeah,
so
there's-
you can't
But
say
I
definitively.
wasn't saying that hypergamy is a good idea. I was saying that like that sin being baked in. If you look at hypergamy as a sin, men are genetically coded for hypergamy.
Yeah.
Wait, how are men? Say that. How are men genetically coded for hypergamy?
Well, I mean, theoretically, you can impregnate, thousands and thousands of women. A woman in her best could probably.
That's not
That's not hypergamy. Are you? Do you mean like a man having sex with a lot of people? Isn't hypergamy like that women choose men like above their kind of social status?
Yep.
No, I think it's more
Yep.
like when a lot of women will go for one guy because he has
That's the
some
same
like
thing.
shared quality.
I thought hypergamy was sex with multiple partners.
No.
Hypergamy
is the notion that women don't want their equals. Women want someone that is. Women want a man that is higher status, quote unquote, than she is. So if she sees herself as a 7, even though she's a 4, then she wants an 8 or higher. So it doesn't necessarily right, but it doesn't necessarily say that I'm more open or sluttier or whatever. It just means that I'm not looking to find just a nice guy who's going to be himself and da 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 da.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of polygamy or polyamory.
The word hyper means over, so I thought hypergamy meant like hypersexuality. Then I was wrong in my.
Yeah, the hyper aspect is the going up, not the number.
Then what's the word I'm looking for? And it's not polygamy because that's multiple wives. I'm just
polyamory.
I'm just talking about like men having.
Did you say non-monogamy?
Yeah,
ethical non-monogamy. If we're on a leftist channel,
I'm just trying to think of what word he's thinking of. If it's not polygamy, it's not.
What's the word for like
being a whore?
That's
a man whore.
Yeah.
There you go.
What are you trying to describe?
Origami. That's the Japanese art form of multiple paper partners. Origami.
So really quick, because I have to go here too. Like, what are you trying to describe exactly?
Yeah, I'm gonna run as well.
Oh, all I was saying was if sin's baked into us, like we're from a religious standpoint, we're supposed to have one partner for life, and it's coded into us that goes against our instinctual drive. That's kind of why I prefaced it with saying, "Are you guys Freudian followers?"
I mean, that's a loaded question because of how, do I think that that Freud had important contributions to the field of psychology? Sure, but do I think that you could pick up a book written by Freud and use it for anything at all? No. So
an important contribution versus like a
like a Carl Jung,
a stepping stone.
Yeah, he stood on the shoulders of work that that Freud did. It's very different stuff, but we wouldn't have been, we as a society that he was part of wouldn't have been thinking that way if there was no Freud.
Basically, somebody had to make all the mistakes so that other people could go on the right path.
Not a bad way of putting it.
Yeah, I hear the Somalians are committing a bunch of Freud up there in Minnesota.
No, that's Froud. Froud.
There's an umlaut.
I'm gonna dip out after that one. It's been fun.
I think we're all kind of dipping out. Because me and Christian were up all night, so I think we're all
Curious about the rest of these prompts.
There's a couple more, but they're some of the things we ended up kind of hitting them through other paths. So we're kind of out of prompts in a way. But so thank you guys. And hope to see you all later. Thank you, IJ.
You should give everyone like 20 seconds to walk off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone gets final thoughts. Final thoughts. One man, multiple thoughts. Okay. Alex, final thoughts.
Polyamory.
I don't have thoughts. I just have opinions.
He just has a wife. Fair enough. Okay. And Jesus, final thoughts.
Yeah, I think all these are interesting questions that don't have a specific right answer, but the context in which you give your answer is going to tell a lot about you. And so, not to pick on Anson, but if you ran over some girl and you didn't feel anything bad, that says a lot about who you are. So, care about people that you hurt. on with that. And
Right.
of
Indian
course,
Jesus' link is here. Subscribe to him.
thank you,
He
thank
goes
you,
live
thank you.
every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, resurrecting the second coming of Common Sense.
There you go. And you guys know that YouTube sucks with those notifications, so you may as well not only just hit the subscribe, but ring that bell so you never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. Until the next time, guys, we are out of here.
Oh, Sevens. Dude, final thoughts?
I've enjoyed my conversation with non-bred Ben Shapiro and Timu Jack White and Jung Christian tonight. Carl Jung did have an umlaut. I'm just going to walk that into the grave. And if you ever see Marilyn in trouble, call a therapist like Mandami would say in New York City, because she would not want you to call the cops in good faith. And
Apparently.
What?
I said apparently.
Don't interrupt me on my final thoughts. And a penny for your thought would be like a really good deal on a loose woman.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
penny for a thought.
Jung Christian.
Penny for a thought. Yeah, there you go.
I'm about to sleep good. I don't know. About to sleep hard, bro.
Have you been up since? Like, have you not slept
Dude, yeah.
since?
Since last stream, I've been up. I've
Oh
been
my
up, just
gosh!
working.
Okay,
Oh, dude, no
Oh,
wonder
that's
you didn't
crazy.
respond to anything. You don't know what you're saying.
Dude,
Yeah, get some sleep.
I was
I only
dozing on
slept
those
for a
side
little bit.
quests I was
Okay.
taking, bro. I was like, why am I here?
Okay, well, everyone get good rest, and
This was a
yeah,
very
everyone
short
take care. Yeah, because again, yeah, I was up till 5 a.m. yesterday, and so I only slept a couple hours. So I'm crashing out like everyone else is. So, but we will be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, with a new thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a new topic.
Is
new
it
topic.
religious?
I'm not sure. I haven't chosen it yet, so
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
When do you
Just-
choose those? Is it last minute?
Yes,
Like, are you
I
like,
usually-
oh,
I
this looks
usually-
interesting.
I usually wake up, do my other work, and then I'm like searching for what to talk about. Sometimes I know in advance, but oftentimes I'm just like, let me just see. I wait for inspiration to hit me, and then do last minute planning. Right. Take care. God
All
bless.
right.
Peace out.
Catch y'all later.